All right. So officially welcome. So hi, hello everyone out there. Welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoons with the Doodle Crew. Hooray! We, as per usual with everything, we are still working through the final last bits of technical issues and getting everything up and running. But hey, you know what? We're closer than we were an hour ago, so I'm counting it as a win. I have not drank the entirety of my coffee yet, so I'm not full squirrel. So I think it's going to be good. Yeah, so as the name indicated, so this morning we are going to be sketching up some good old 90s cartoons. Everybody has kind of picked their style that they're working in and the cartoon characters that they are adapting to that style. But before we get into what everyone is doing specifically, I'm going to go around and intro everyone. So anybody in chat who's unfamiliar, never go full squirrel. It's true. It's true, Bean. So you're on my channel, but I am a swan named Emily across the internet. And yeah, I streamed yesterday, but I'm happy to be back again. So hi, Simkin. Hi, Bean. Hi, Slayer Braxis. I'm sorry, I don't know your real name. And Kruggles and Nicole. Hello, Nicole. I have something to send you, and I forgot to do it a second ago. So also here with me today is Randall. Hi, Randall.
Hi. Good morning.
Oh, there you go. All right. So let me wait. Bam. All right. There you go. So we got Randall. We've also got Kristen. Kristen. Yay.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. And we have some new faces. Hooray. So we have Sarah. Hi, Sarah. And we have Jeff. Hello, Jeff. So this is cool. I'm very excited. These are all friends of mine who I like creating art with. And you cannot see her face, but she is working on her thing. Megan is also here.
Hello.
We might just be getting audio. But so if anybody, where's my thing? There's that and that. Yes. So if you have any questions about any of the artists or you want to know where to find them, drop a note in chat. And I can have my lovely, amazing mod help me out with dropping in the info about each of the artists. So yeah, I think that's enough. So I'm going to drop this out so we can get as large of a screen as possible. There we go. Yeah. So I think this is going to be the best one as far as showing the most of the screen, as we do have a couple of artists who are working with an additional shared screen. I will swap over to those so you guys can see what they're working on as well. Yeah, and we'll just kind of go from there. So some of these lovely people are way ahead of me and have already sketched up some cool stuff. So looking at you, Randall, first, what is your cartoon mashup?
Well, my mashup is the X-Men animated series from the 90s, but in a Scooby-Doo style.
Yes!
So up first we got Jinky's Jubilee.
It's so good. It's so good. Okay, and then also, I see Kristen sketched earlier. What are you mashing up?
So I'm mashing up a 90s cartoon called Mighty Max, which I found not a lot of people remember. It was the boy toy version of Polly Pocket, but it also had its own Saturday morning cartoon series, and it is still my favorite 90s cartoon series. So I am doing Mighty Max in the style of Man of Action's Ben 10, because I feel like it would really, if Mighty Max was ever going to be rebooted, I would love to see Man of Action handle it, because I think like just their style as well as how they handle like those sort of action cartoons would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the Ben 10 style was really good. Like it had nice clean lines and great action, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also I think the precociousness of Max would fit really well with that like brattiness that Ben had from Ben 10.
Absolutely.
Like they do very good like little kid characters, Man of Action does. So
oh, nice, Bean. I like it. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to switch over so you can kind of see. So, Megan, what are you mashing up?
I'm actually not doing a mashup today. I wanted to challenge myself with a style that's kind of outside of what I normally do. So I am drawing Rainbow Bright characters.
Yay! All right.
Yeah, going super nostalgic today.
I was completely on board for it because I absolutely love Rainbow Bright. So I was 100% there for it. So, yeah. Okay. And let me switch over so you can see. So, Jeff, what are you mashing up today?
So I am doing a He-Man piece, and I'm doing it in the more current Gendy Tartakovsky style that they use on Primal. So,
Or for the old ones where I first met him, Samurai Jack. And early Clone Wars before it switched to 3D.
and Dexter's Lab before that, and he worked on Powerpuff Girls before that. So
yeah, no, he's dope. I love it. So, and it was so different too. That was what I loved. Like, well, let me rephrase that. I didn't love it then because I was a snob and I only liked Disney and anime. But as an adult looking back, I was like, oh no, you actually did really, really cool stuff. And that was a crazy great style. So
yeah, Samurai Jack hit like right in my, I think my second time going to the Art Institute. So that was like pretty big influence during that time for me. So
yeah. Yeah, so also fun for chat. We've got 5 of the 6 artists today all attended the Art Institute. So, yeah, repping hard for the Art Institute. So, Sarah, I know you're working traditionally. What are you mashing up?
Well, now I'm changing entirely. I was going to do a Tartakovsky version of Misty, Brock, and Ash. So do like a Pokemon cross with that like Clone Wars style. But now since we have someone already well into a drawing, I'm going to switch and go to Futurama. Do like a matte graining version of those 3 characters.
No, I like it.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, I figured out my idea and I sketched nothing. So I'm starting from scratch, but I am going to be, well, I'm going to open Spotify apparently is what I'm going to click on. But I'm going to be mashing up the Real Adventures, or the Johnny Quest Real Adventures, which was the newer one with the amazing opening. And I'm mashing that
3D opening
with the Thundercats. So I'm going to humanize the Thundercats and kind of make them. I figured it out. So I've got what I do. I wrote it down. So I've got Race Bannon as Panthro. I've got Dr. Benton Quest as Tigra. I've got Bandit as Snarf. Jesse as Lion-O. So I'm going to do a little gender swapping with Jesse and Johnny and do Lion-O and Chitara. And then I got to figure out who Haji's going to be. I wrote Panthro twice apparently. So, but yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how many of those I actually get done. But that's the plan. So yes, Thundercats ho. Thank you. Thank you, Klaus. So we got a lot of love. We got a lot of love for Samurai Jack. So yeah. Okay. Let me switch over. So I have to draw. Yeah, so Kristen had a great idea, and I super wish I could do it. I would have loved to have pulled up like a channel that had all the great 90s cartoons intro and like great music, but Twitch would 100% knock that out, and our stream would be completely silent as that played. So what I want the at home to do is just type in like 90s cartoon intros. And I'm pretty sure there are about 16 different YouTube compilations. So if you wanna have those playing in the back, I found a 10-minute looping version of Johnny Quest Real Adventures that I was listening to all morning, as well as a Pokemon theme. So I am appropriately hyped. So yeah, yes. So.
If you want a little touch of nostalgia, if you're not familiar at all with Mighty Max, because I want everyone to remember it, all the episodes are also available on YouTube. So
Yay.
watch the entire series there.
All right. So I'm gonna look at my reference. What I'm gonna do. Excuse me. You can close Spotify. Yeah, I remember being very jealous because I thought the Mighty Max like pocket things were way cooler than Polly Pocket. Like I enjoyed those little minis a lot more.
I wanted the Mighty Max toys so bad, and to this day, I'm still holding a bit of a grudge that my boy cousins got Mighty Max and I got Polly Pocket. Not that Polly Pocket was bad. I'm glad I got what I got, but like, come on, a giant snake that like opens up, or like a big werewolf, like that's infinitely cooler than.
And didn't he have like the
cows.
skull castle thing? Like I remember some amazing rock. Like I was like, I want that. I want
Skullmaster's castle. I am all about Mighty Max.
Well, it's funny you should bring that up because, there was always that whole thing in the 90s of, this is the boy's toy and this is the girl's toy. Like when you would go to McDonald's and they would ask in the drive-thru what kind of toy you needed for the Happy Meal.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and they did. I think they did that with like Polly Pocket and Mighty Max. But the thing that I always wanted so bad that I was jealous of any of my girlfriends that they got was Sky Dancers because I wanted one so bad.
They were dope. They were super dangerous, but they were fun. And I love it. It's in GIF form now, but I'm sure there's the actual video of it with the little girl who pulls the Sky Dancer and it goes up and flies right into the fireplace.
Into the fire.
One, you should always gate your fireplaces, but two, that's fucking funny. So. Yeah.
Also, another cartoon that not many people remember.
Yeah. Ooh, Cthulhu Christ 49 said he had the snake one. So.
The snake one was the one I always wanted.
Well, I think that's the funny part is with some of this, like, I remember the toys really, really well and not always the show. Like, I feel like the toys got more advertising than I was ever able to necessarily maybe catch the show itself. So.
Well, the shows were only made to advertise the toys back then. So, yeah, it was going to be the toys that always got most of the advertising.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Which, some of those shows were too good for just advertising toys.
Yeah, so someone got me for Christmas a couple years ago. They got me the Star Wars Christmas special, which I promise they don't actually hate me. But because it's like a pirated DVD, it also had a ton of the old toy commercials on it, as well as the time when all the Star Wars characters went on the Muppet Show. Yeah. So like I'm watching through all of this stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot that they did all of this advertising for all of the bounty hunters who end up not even being named in the movie. And like, it was so surreal. Like you've got Boba Fett flying around and like the monster from Hoth and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. So, okay. So Randall, Cthulhu Christ says, if I find the terrace old Sky Dancer while we rehab the old farmhouse, it's yours. So, hello, Kitty.
That would make my day.
90s was all about the toys, and if the toys didn't sell, then the show didn't make it. Yeah, Sailor Breakfast, you're right. Slayer. I'm sorry. I called you Sailor. Slayer.
Slayer, I'm sure that's a compliment too. There was actually a few, like the Batman Beyond animated series was only made to sell toys. And like some of them were just like, just throw a show out there. And I remember, because I have some of the like making of books, and the creators were just given, they were like, hey, here's the toys, so you need to make sure that this visual makes it into the show, but other than that, sky's the limit. And normally from everything I've read, whenever they said that, like, just make sure this toy goes in there, we don't care what the plot is, that's when the creators like made the best shows possible. Like Mighty Max was like that, Batman Beyond was like that. There were a few other like G.I. Joe, yeah. They're just like, just as long as the visuals are in there, and then the creators get to make like the story they always want, which is super sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dell says, my favorite Blink and You Missed It cartoon was in the late 80s. And Cthulhu says, I'll see what I can do. No promises. So far, all me and Tina found was a dead raccoon. Aw.
It's the same. It's the same.
It's the same. I mean, you could pull
just,
the tail and throw it.
Yeah, you just put the arms out and you pull the tail in it.
With a kid's imagination, anything is possible.
Exactly. So, as it's saying, Randall, I know I had some, and I'm positive Mom still has them in an old toy box. So I'll see if I can if I can bug her to get them, because I think there should be a Sky Dancer. And there was also, and I cannot for the life of me remember what they were, but little dolls about the same size that had all this like gem armor that went on them that was super cool. And then it was the old school like magnetic armor that would magnet.
You're talking Tanko and the Guardians of Magic, because I was obsessed with those dolls. And it was magnetic armor that like fit onto them. They had like little gems that would sit on their stomach, and then they'd have like all this really cute, pretty armor. And then they had animals that you also put armor on, like a tiger and horse.
Yeah. Yes.
It was a cartoon that was super obscure, but it was Tanko and the Guardians of Magic back when they would like make a cartoon off of like a real person. Because Tanko was like a real, I think she was Japanese magic performer.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
And she got her own cartoon.
Yeah. No, those were awesome. Like those toys were dope.
They were.
Oh, someone like to draw that. Maybe next time. We're gonna do this Saturday morning cartoons again, so we might bring that one back.
Yeah, I think.
The raccoon, the dead raccoon.
Yes. Also. Oh God, that's a whole different toy.
That sounds like Nightmare Before Christmas. Like a kid would ask for Sky Dancers, then Jack Skellington would bring just like a dead raccoon that you wind up.
That's much too dead. Try this. It's much fresher. Oh God, I love it.
There's the boy version of Sky Dancers too, called Dragonflyers.
Did they ever make a cartoon for Sky Dancers?
Oh heck yeah, they did! Sorry, I am passionate. Yes. It aired at 6 a.m. and it was delightful. In fact, the only reason I ever watched Dragon Ball Z when it first aired in the United States was because it came on right before Sky Dancers, so I'd like sit through it, that or I'd watch infomercials. Because, you know, back then without basic cable, like it was either infomercials at 6 a.m. and then Sky Dancers came on.
That's so funny. Oh, not gonna lie, I forgot how freaking cute Bandit was. I just want to. That's the thing. As we talked about this, like all I wanted to do was watch these shows. I was like, oh, they're so good. That's cool. Put it on the wrong layer. Neat.
Yeah, one of the shows that I was thinking about as we were coming up with ideas was the old Beetlejuice cartoon.
Yeah.
I thought of that show too. Like how fun of a style that would be, because it was all like rubber hose kind of animation.
Well, I think it's funny because, so, I mean, I posted about it, but Cards on the Table, I only watched the original Beetlejuice a couple years ago, but I remember the cartoon, so it was very surreal to see, like, the actual movie where I was like, oh no, he's a bad guy. But, like, I had the memory of the cartoon where he's, like, plucky and funny and, like, him and the main girl, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name because I'm being a it's fine. But like, so it was very, very different. But I was like, no, that was a cartoon. Like I remember that, like old, very like Animaniacs and Tiny Toons. Okay. Okay, so I gotta say, so Bean is not an old human, and he remembers Sky Dancers. So remember, did you? Yes. Oh yes. Yeah, 80s and 90s toys weren't fun unless there was bodily harm, like, at risk. So, Dell would like to ask if anyone remembers Galaxy High.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, I keep getting it mixed up with Clone High, which I enjoyed. But Galaxy High. No, so all right, so Dell, give us a rundown. They had the red cloak at the red, yeah. Lydia. Thank you. Lydia Dietz. I remember like that in the cartoon, like her coat was great and she's got the great hair and yeah. So, okay. Now that I'm drawing on the correct layers.
One thing I did debate was just drawing a bunch of popular characters, but all as the Disney ducks, because back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, Disney had this like obsession with ducks. Like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, the Mighty Ducks. Like there was so many ducks.
Yeah, there's a lot of ducks. A lot of
That'd be
anthropomorphic.
really cool. And yeah, I guess that's more correct way to say. Yeah, there was a lot of anthropomorphic ducks back then. Disney had a thing about ducks for a while.
I loved that Mighty Ducks TV show.
Oh yeah.
That Mighty Ducks was so good. It was, again, better than it needed to be.
Yeah. Tell you what, though, talking about watching stuff during quarantine, I rewatched like D2 fairly recently, and I was in tears at the end of it. I'm just like, but they all get over their differences and they make it up, and then they're friends, and then they win. And yeah, like texting people, they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "It's just so beautiful."
Hockey has that effect on me too.
Right? Which I was so happy was back this week, and then Pittsburgh got trounced by the Flyers twice this week, and I'm just gonna cry. So
don't worry.
That first game was so bad.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Okay.
Sabres, I wouldn't say trumped, but Sabres lost both games to the Caps. Second game was unfortunate because the Sabres outplayed them but did not score. Like
that's heartbreaking.
On like 6 power plays. It was disgusting.
Ooh. Okay, so Simkin, you said if you have children, the rules of the Disney universe become hotly debated. So, and Krugel says because it's the best sports movie of all time. Thank you. Yes, because ducks fly together.
Yep.
Quack, quack.
I was gonna say, don't they quack at the end of that?
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, it was from the first one, but forever like quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth, and I was like, I want to be that brash someday. Like, oh, I love it. Oh. Jock and Galaxy High School. Man, Doyle, Clever Loeb, Amy Brightower as the first humans to go to Galaxy High School. Yeah, I don't think I know Galaxy High School. So Cthulhu Christ says, I remember Kristen just mindlessly singing the Mighty Ducks show theme song during one of her all-nighters. So
oh my god. That was definitely a thing I did. No one can blame you when you're going without sleep that long, and that song is super catchy. That Mighty Ducks theme song.
Yeah, this is just a glimpse inside our minds.
Although now I know who you are, Cthulhu Christ. Watch out, I'm coming for you. Letting my secrets be known to the world.
Yeah, so I'll apologize, chat. I do switch my screen over to my drawing tablet, so if I miss something you say, I'm sorry about that.
I don't like drawing feet.
His pants are so high in some of these images. There it looks normal.
Tell you what, though, it's something super weird about teaching like middle school age kids because all of the 90s shit is back as far as fashion. Like they've got the like high-waisted mom jeans, acid washed with their plastic choker collar and their scrunchie. And I'm like, what is happening right now?
Wait. They have those chokers again?
Yeah, those chokers are back. They're super bad.
Wait, like the invisible chokers, the ones that are like they were like plastic or wire or something.
The twisted plastic ones. Yep, like old school from Claire's. They're friggin' back. Yeah, it's unsettling. Is all I can say.
Are they do they have those like black stretchy ones that like you just fit over your head because they don't open? They're just like wires all like woven together.
Yeah, those.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
You had like beads or sometimes beads hidden in them and stuff like that.
Yep.
I think I still have one somewhere.
Oh, I'm pretty sure my family absolutely still has them. All right, so.
Man, middle school, man.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I saw a girl, so I taught a little bit yesterday, and there was a girl who came in with like these high-waisted pants and the old school like chunky white sneakers, and I'm like a scrunchie and like a mock turtleneck and a jean jacket, and I'm just like, Am I on glue? What is happening right now? From the opener on
You start looking like, did I time travel? What is?
Yeah. It's like, no, I'm still dressed the same.
As long as the like crunchy ramen hair doesn't come back. You guys remember crunchy ramen hair?
Do. Yeah.
I don't think that's allowed anymore ever again.
I don't think those.
I remember seeing it, but I don't remember anyone having any crunchy ramen hair.
Like that you personally knew?
Yeah, that I personally knew. I never saw anyone like, because it's a lot of work, I guess.
Oh, man.
But I remember seeing it on TV and stuff.
I was gonna say there was a lot of like frosted tips and hardcore like gel of boys at my high
I remember
school.
the guys having that like blonde
Yeah,
frosted tips, I think is what they were called.
yeah.
Oh, the sugar
Guilty. Guilty. But I was in college, so I didn't know any better.
You're in art school. That's fine.
That's right. I had to fit in.
No one can be blamed for what they wore in college.
No.
You get a pass. Like you're allowed to forget what that was like.
The fact that I was awake in class was enough.
Yeah. I was definitely not getting enough sleep. That's for certain.
Absolutely.
You can't be forgiven for being frumpy or just showing up in whatever was clean
Yeah,
or
not
not
even,
clean.
like, I was gonna say, I at least put deodorant on. That was my big like. Whether the clothes were completely clean or not, there was at least deodorant. Oh, yeah.
Could not be said for every kid that went to the Art Institute.
Sadly no. Sadly no.
But I like that none of us really even, like, that wasn't a thing to judge each other on. They put the fashion students on their own floor so we didn't have that peer pressure to be judged by them.
I remember them, like, watching them come in and go on the elevator, and I was like, they're so put together. How do you do that?
What floor are they going to?
It's like, that's not on floor 7. I've never seen anyone who looks like that.
It's the beautiful floor that smells like flowers.
Yeah. Floor did smell better. That's funny. Oh my god.
Did you guys all went to the one on Smithfield?
Mhm.
420. That was us.
Yeah, I my first time I went to the old building, and that building, I loved that building. It was so old and just run down, and the elevators were like death traps that you got on every single day, and they had to have operators on the elevators. So there were people that just worked all day on these operators, and they had like those accordion cages that closed.
Oh my gosh.
There were only 2 elevators, and the building was, every floor only had like, I think like 10 rooms on it. So they were like,
Where was
how many floors were? The Penn Avenue building at the Art Institute. It was before they had the new building on Smithfield, and then they left that building and went to whatever building they were in.
I was gonna say they actually went back to like the strip district again, and
yeah. Well, this wasn't the strip district. This was
It was downtown. It was over.
Point.
Yeah. Because I actually saw that building. I never went into it, but one of my friends who went to the Art Institute in the older days, he was pointing it out to me. It was over by kind of like where the what's that one? There's like a Starbucks around the corner from there and a parking garage.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say it was the 5th Avenue building or something. It was like almost like a golden building next to it, and then it was just this kind of rundown looking building that had the art gallery in the main floor, and then everything else was just up or down. If you were in industrial design, you went down, or had a video class, you went down the basement too. But that was it.
oh my gosh, that's crazy. Yeah, we're so it was all the video production stuff, and the Cage Cave, if you needed to rent stuff once it got to the new building. But yeah, Randall and we went back and we toured the newest one before it closed, and had moments where I was like, oh, look at all this high-tech stuff. This is cool.
What is this?
They didn't have this when we were here.
And now they don't have anything.
Now they don't have anything.
Yeah. Yep. Well, proud graduates of the school, it doesn't exist anymore.
Where did the dinosaur go?
I think it got sold.
I thought he was still there last I knew, but I haven't been down.
I remember reading an article
Yeah, he was the dinosaur Trex. He was at the new Art Institute over in the Strip District, so I'm not sure what they did with him after they dismantled the new Art Institute.
After the Art Institute fully closed, there was actually an article written about what happened to him. And he's somewhere else. Like, I think a private collector bought him for a short time.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know exactly where he is, but I know that he's not like just sitting in a junk pile somewhere. Like, something did happen to him.
Well, you had
because there were.
Yeah, you had a ton of dinosaurs all over the city, so like it made sense that he should get like
They still are
released.
around.
But also a lot of students were asking like, "Hey, what's going on with our buddy? What's he doing?"
That's good because I was worried for him.
Oh, yes. Now I know who Cthulhu Christ is too. Yes, who said when they sold the Smithfield building, him and Tina bought a bunch of stuff from the kitchens there. Yes, but just waiting for someone to buy that storage locker and find the demo. Well, it killed me too because when the Art Institute really started to first fall under like scrutiny and fire and were in the news a lot, for some sick reason, they always used the picture of our school because it had the dinosaur out front. So like every news article, even though it was the whole Art Institute system across the country, they're like, but no, don't forget about Pittsburgh because
They're the problem.
I was like, and I seriously, I had people who would contact me and be like, hey, didn't you go to school there? And I'm like, yes, I did.
It's funny because before that, before they had that new building, all the pictures that were supposedly the Art Institute of Pittsburgh were the Art Institute of Phoenix. So like when I was going there, like before I went to visit the school my senior year, all the pictures like looked like a more modern place, and then we got there and we're like, this building's like super old. What are we doing?
Oh my god. Oh, Art Institutes. Good time. Such a good time. So I will say, as much as, you know, obviously the administration side and the service side and like all of that was bad. Like I really did like the education I got there. Like the teachers I had were good, and I'm happy for what I learned there. But boy, like the whole business side of it was just so shady.
Mm-hmm. The teachers cared, but
I think it's funny too because, like, I mean, Emily and I know that you will be in the most random place and you will be talking about the Art Institute, and just out of the depths, someone named Jeff Baum will be like, "Oh, I know Angela Love," and you're like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, that's how I first met you guys. Yeah, we were at the convention there, and you just I don't even know if you even said her name, but just everything that you were saying about her, I just turned. I was like, "Did you go to the Art Institute?" Because so did I, and that's Angela Love.
Yep. And I've had it happen in other places too. Like when we would do cons here in Pittsburgh, and you know, you'd have the random people stumble in, and they would talk about how they went to the Art Institute back in the day. And
yep, it's funny. I mean, like, but can we just take a minute to be kind of impressed, because that's an insane amount of name recognition. Like people I know up here in upstate New York, people from Ohio, people from Pennsylvania. Like I'm pretty sure I was probably at a convention in Baltimore or something and knew somebody who went there. Like that bitch got reach. Like I give it up to her at least a little bit, because memorable. Very memorable.
We've got somebody in the comments that is currently going to the Art Institute. Which one?
Online. I think there's all online now, isn't it?
Yeah, they said
yeah. So Forging Winton is Bean. He's in Chicago, right? I think.
So the good one.
Okay. So if you don't mind, Jeff, I'm going to swap over and show what you're working on for a little bit. All right. So just remind everyone. So this is the He-Man mashup in, I can't say his name, and I'm afraid to.
Gendy Tartakovsky.
Thank you.
It's a mouthful.
It is.
that line art is so good.
Thank you.
Dude, and you know the worst part about that is he's so fast. Jeff is so friggin' fast at this. Like it's just like, no, it's fine. I got it. Just try. Like, oh my god.
Just give me 2-3 seconds.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Jeff
Like
and
he has to have a handicap from now on.
yes. Yeah.
You have to only draw with your non-dominant hand.
Oh, that would be a disaster.
Yeah, we sat together on a panel at convention, and it's pretty much just like there's a moderator who would ask. There's a whole bunch of artists ask us questions, but the audience could request us to draw. And so there were times where I was like, all right, I'll race you. And, this is me laughing because I'm like, ha, 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 let me see if I can get half of my sketch done in the time that Jeff has finished his. So, yeah.
I learned to get fast when I worked at a video game company because I didn't want to be part of the crunch. So,
yeah, no, I don't blame you.
I never escaped the crunch. Our team always had crunch stuff.
I was fortunate that the company that I worked for, like we did mostly third-party games for the Nintendo Advance, the Game Boy Advance, and then the DS when it first came out. And the woman that runs the company, like super about work-life balance. So she was just like, if you're here more than X amount of hours in a day, go home. You're not helping. You're hurting.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so we didn't crunch often, and when we did, like she always made sure that like we were fed and all this other stuff. So it was a good environment to work in.
That's great.
Yeah.
We had crunch, but they would try to make it up to us by like having a masseuse come in or a laundry service. We just like bring our dirty clothes and they bring it back to us clean. Obviously, like catered food. So it was always like we joked that it was like a bribe. It wasn't a thank you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, thanks for staying and working overtime. It's like, no, if you want to eat this food or you want this laundry service, you better work an extra 40 hours this week.
Just realized I gave my characters too many fingers. I had to take a finger away, and now they look really weird.
Hashtag cartoon problems.
It just always makes me think of that one screenshot from Sailor Moon when she's transforming and she whips out her hand and she has the extra fingers just to add to the motion of it. She has like 7 fingers on one hand.
Oh man, I was on the wrong layer. God, I hate when that happens.
People in the chat take a drink every time an artist draws on the wrong layer.
I was about to say, I don't when I do it.
Yeah. I would be drunk already because I started.
And then you have to turn on and off all your layers because there's no way you labeled them.
We were talking about this the other day.
I'm obsessive compulsive layer labeler, so I'm the one weird person.
I only do it on client work that I know I'm going to turn in the raw files to. Like if I'm just turning in a JPEG or a PNG or whatever they need, then I'm not labeling layers.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. If it's like a communal work file, obviously everything's labeled. But if it's just mine, like we die on this hill and we die like men.
I'm actually surprised I went to the effort of naming my layers for this one like a good artist would. Just because I have 5 characters on the screen and I'm like, I'm going to get so confused if I'm not keeping track of which yellow layer belongs to which X-Men.
Yeah, no, I did that for the piece I was coloring, or for my emotes that I was working on yesterday on stream. I definitely had like layers labeled because I was working on so many little pieces that, yeah. Yeah, I gotta switch to the Irish coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Bean, I would very much appreciate it if you did not pregame your stream, considering you're working on an actual forge. I would like all fingers and toes and body parts to be intact at the end of your stream. Please and thank you.
So interestingly, I don't know, I'm just going to share some trivia here that I didn't know about. When I was watching through the X-Men cartoon this week, during my drawing. So I always forgot about Morph being like in the first episode. Because, I mean, spoiler alert to anybody in the chat, just giving you a few seconds here in case you never watched the X-Men animated series. They end up killing him off in the second episode of the series.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. But, and here we go again. I mean, if you haven't had time to watch the X-Men cartoon, it's been like 30 years. So you've had well enough amount of time to watch it by now. So, that always took me by surprise. And I'm like, wow, did they really just kill off this character? Like right away in a kid's cartoon. But then in season 2, he comes back. And he has that whole arc about like not remembering who he was, and he's being twisted to go after the X-Men, and he's like struggling with his internal memories of being on the team. But the funny thing is, I was reading on that, and they never intended for Morph to come back.
Really?
They legit just wanted to kill him off to give some emotional impact. And then, mistakes were made, and they screened it with children. And the children were like, Morph is our favorite character. And so they're all like, oh, shit. So then they had to backpedal.
Not monsters.
Yeah, that's why they had, because, there's a whole thing with Jean saying that she doesn't sense his life force anymore. And like, they 100% had just intended to have him gone. And the kiddies, they jumped in, and they had to backpedal and bring him back in some way.
That is nuts.
It's the same thing that happened in the 80s with Optimus Prime when they killed him. They're like, in the movie, and they're like, we made a mistake. And then it didn't take much longer in season 3 that they brought him back to life. And it also changed the course of the G.I. Joe movie, where the Duke was supposed to die, but at the very end, they spliced in some audio. They were like, oh, he's going to be fine.
Oh, my God.
We made kids cry. We're sorry.
That's like in Jurassic Park, the book. Ian Malcolm dies.
No, lots of people died.
Well, yeah, but Ian Malcolm dies, and then he was so popular that Creighton was like, oh, shoot, like, it was just bad hospitals in, like, the third world country, and he's actually still alive, so we can make the Lost World happen.
Here's a second book with him in it as the star.
Yeah.
Our bad.
Maybe they won't notice.
Kind of reminds me of what they did with when they brought Go Lions to the United States for Voltron, the original Voltron, and they couldn't kill off Sven. Well, they named him Sven. So there was like this whole like, no, he's going to be sent to a space hospital and he'll just never come back. And it was just in the original, he dies. He's gone. He's dead. But in like the American one, nope, kids can't handle death. So we're just going to pretend like he's shipped off to a nursing home for the rest of the series. But he didn't die. It was like the animation. Yeah, the animation equivalent of sending him to a farm upstate where he can run around with all the other puppies and kitties. Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes, X-Men Evolution is so good. Like, it shocked me how good it was. And I was really excited when I checked Disney Plus and saw that was on there.
Yeah, very, very excited about that. Okay, so I've got a super cute face happening over on Megan's screen, so I'm going to switch over so you guys can see
that.
Megan, have you seen that movie?
Let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah, there you go. Look at that face. Also, like, you take a step back and looking at like the design of Rainbow Bright, and I was like, oh, this is like Cabbage Patch level of strange, deformed children. But I loved it. I loved it so much.
Yeah, when I was pulling images to kind of get a feel for the style, And I'm like, okay, so the face is like, when you draw an owl, it's like those two ovals and then it meets in the middle for the beak. And I'm like, this is a weird way to draw a face.
Yeah, no, she is about 70% hair and 30% face.
It's way too much. It's way too much for my brain to handle how warped this skull would be in real life.
Oh yeah, no, when they do those, when they take SpongeBob or Pokemon and do a realistic of what their skull would look like, and I was like, that's terrifying. Yeah, no. Oh, so Fortune Winton wants to know if Shaggy is Cyclops, who's Fred gonna be?
Guess you'll just have to stay tuned and find out.
Oh.
Perfect answer. All right. Here, look at that. I'm going to name a layer.
We'll show you 40 commercials about candy so you can go beg your parents to buy you some. And then when we come back, you'll be able to see who it is.
Okay, but also, how much do you wish that when you're watching, shows geared towards adults now, that you could still opt in to get, the kids' cartoons? I'm like, I want to be advertised to about Gushers. I still enjoy Gushers. I don't want to see another commercial about antidepressants. No. I mean a goddamn Gusher commercial.
So true.
Insurance
Jeepers. No.
Oh, talking about insurance, I saw an interesting video on YouTube, I think it was last night, about why they stopped airing the insurance commercials.
Oh, yeah, because that was
sexy.
It was Ghostbot, and she was generating too much porn online. Which bummed me out because I freaking loved her.
That's how I learned about Cloud Cult, the band.
What was that, Megan?
Those were actually decent commercials. I missed those.
They were great. I really looked into applying at the company that made them because they were doing a lot of animation similar to what I liked to do. So.
Yep. Those are the ones with the pink hair girl, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Erin Eastern.
Oh, that's right. Her name is Erin.
That's why. That's still stuck in my brain and why I can't let that go and move on to something else, like when to file my taxes. Nope. Gotta remember the Erin Eastern's commercial. That's important. Don't lose that.
Why haven't they canceled Family Guy? Because there's a really ridiculous amount of Family Guy porn. Just saying, not that I'm looking for it, but if you ever forget to have your ad blocker on and you're just like, oh, I did not need to see any animated version of that.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's just like,
Lois, no, Brian, no. Oh God. Oh, we got some good guesses. We got Fred and Daphne as Colossus and Shadowcat. I do like that. That's cute. Scooby as Wolverine or Nightcrawler. Ooh, speculation.
So, I'm just going to throw this out there. I actually had thought of making Nightcrawler as Scooby. And then in my brain, I saw that image of Nightcrawler with Scooby's face. And I said, no, this should never be birthed. Some monsters just need to stay hidden.
He did that for you, chat. He did that for you. He took that
did.
For you.
And for myself, because I would never be able to live down.
Yeah, because you guys got to remember, in addition to us actually having to draw this, we have to think about it in our brain. It lives in our brain. And that's not a thing that always needs to stay. As you can tell from Erin Eastern still being in my brain, it doesn't go away.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Tony P says we owe you one, Randall. And Bean says the Family Guy porn always finds you. I was like, yeah. And this, kids, is why it might be a cartoon stream, but why it's rated 18 and up, because we gonna talk about porn. And in the wise words of Angela Love, if you start drawing porn, you'll never leave.
Yeah, I just saw a comic yesterday that made me laugh, or it was an animation. And it was when an artist who does not do NSFW does NSFW, and like the comments are exploding. There are hearts everywhere. Everybody's eating it up. And then it cuts to someone who's normally an NSFW artist, and they're like, look, I drew a pretty landscape. And someone's like, cool.
Where
Do
your
more
dick
porn.
at? Bring back
Unless
my
the
dick.
landscape has a dick in it, we don't want it.
Yep. Draw the Little Mermaid castle from the 80s.
Yeah, and it's funny because I remember, yes, being cool. Where's the pit? Oh, I enjoy that. Yeah, like I remember thinking when they would always put together those lists of all the times where they snuck something into the animation and everything, and I was like, yes, hi. If you could have like put a webcam in on us when we were like 28 hours without sleep and working our butts off in those labs, like sanity has left the building. Like I'm not surprised with some of this stuff that happens because it gets real weird in there when you're sleep and food deprived and have not had enough water. So
There were some fun adventures though when Up All Night hit and we're all sleep deprived with no food and water. That's when like the collaborations start like happening.
that's why like the invention of SpongeBob never surprised me, because it'd be like, no, I could see us like in an Up All Night be like, no, he lives in a pineapple. So
Guys, I got this great idea for a theme song, right? It's a pirate, and we're gonna make it get stuck in all the parents' heads forever.
forever. Yeah, good times, guys. Good times.
Okay.
I am not sure what expression to give this bird man thing.
Birdman.
Oh man.
Also, I was totally toying with the idea of maybe pulling in like wacky racers to do them in some crazy style, because I was like, they had such great costume and like character design.
Yeah. Some of the other ones I was thinking of were like the Snorks and the Smurfs and stuff, like adapting characters into those.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'll throw this out to chat. If you enjoy this and want to see us do more of these, let us know, because I will beg these people to come back and draw more fun mashups.
Actually, getting audience suggestion might actually be a lot of fun because they'll probably remember cartoons that we don't even know to think about.
True.
There are so many cartoons. Like yesterday, Randall asked me what I was going to draw, and I'm like, I am paralyzed by choice.
Yeah, really. I was like, immediately, the list of 100 that I knew are gone from my brain. Well, because I was thinking,
I
like,
always knew.
I want to bring back gargoyles. Like, I definitely want to do something with that because that was a style I loved. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I always wanted to bring back like a Mighty Max reboot, but I was talking to Randall about this, that if I couldn't figure out like if what I was drawing I wasn't really liking, I was going to do just as like I just need to do something for the stream. I was going to redraw again a lot of popular characters from the 90s, but all as binoms from Reboot.
Yes. I want
Like
it.
just a bunch of zeros and ones of like popular, because they hid a lot of popular characters in Reboot, and you can like go back and see them in the background and everything.
God, talk about a show that I loved. I loved the shit out of Reboot. Like, oh my gosh, especially as it went on and like, okay guys, spoilers. When Enzo gets caught in the game and he grows up and he gets super hot, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I like this.
And then you start having moral sweats.
Yes. I was like, wait.
Speaking of porn and cartoon porn,
what the internet is for, guys. What the internet is for. All right. Yeah, no, and I mean, like, I know that it was so early on. Also, yes, thank you, Tony P. Fucking reboot. Oh, and Dell, yes, I love it. Dell says, Gargoyle should get a cross genre draw with Star Trek since, yeah, it was, you had Worf, you had Riker, you had all of these great, like, voice actors doing voices for gargoyles. So, yeah. But yeah, like, Reboot is early 3D television animation. So it's, you know, it doesn't hold up real well, kind of like the original Beast Wars, but gosh darn if it wasn't crazy entertaining.
Oh God, that was my jam in the day though. Reboot, Beast Wars.
Yeah.
I love Gargoyles. Oh man.
It was good shit.
And it came out at a perfect time too. Like a reboot, like not that movie they made for Netflix, but an actual reboot wouldn't really work because technology is so different and it was so hingent on like the old way that technology worked.
Right. You wouldn't have the issues like they had with the, you know, the viruses and everything. You would have to update it so much. I feel like it would be less of a reimagining or a reboot, and it would be just its own new thing. But oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
Hexadecimal is probably one of my favorite villains of all time.
She's so good. She's so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep his creepy face.
Now I gotta actually think about it.
Rothby holding a donut or a Pokeball?
Ooh. You could do a donut that has Pokeball icing.
Well, this is a Brock's donut, which is actually onigiri, like a rice ball. But in the anime, they're like, these are delicious donuts, and Brock's just like handing out onigiri to people. But I don't know if how many people actually would know that as a joke versus like just having a Pokeball.
Right.
All right, chat. Are you ready for the Fred reveal?
Revel? Yes.
All right, here he comes.
Revel me with your revel.
Oh no, not what I wanted. Oh no! I want to sit. There it is. Give me that one. No! Hang on. Okay, fine. Don't. StreamYard. Don't do it. I just want to make that one. There it is.
There he is.
Stop messing with it now. Sorry, Tony P. You taught me better. Moving stuff around and clicking everything.
That's how you do it. You just click on everything until it does what you want.
Yeah, panic clicks. I also just love, like, I love the pose so much with the Wolverine outfit. Like, it's so good.
I forget how weird all of their butts are. I don't think about their butts. And then I saw your sketch yesterday, and I was like, oh, I guess I never really looked at Fred's butt before. And then I looked at Shaggy's butt, and I'm like, and I looked at images of them, and I'm like, no, this is correct. I just never thought to look at their butts.
So we just got a good one in the chat of let's split up, bubs.
Oh, well played, Bean. Well played. Sorry, Tony P. It's because I'm trying to draw as well. Yeah. Oh, I think Chad is making their guesses. They're saying that Daphne has to be Jean. So you guys will see.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say it's a tough call, and this is a very controversial thing to admit. I don't like Jean Grey.
Seconded, not much.
Thirded. I just never liked how she made Cyclops and Wolverine like fight over her. And it was like, come on, I know he's like short and hairy, but it's got to be Wolverine. Got to pick Wolverine.
The only thing I'll say, so I have never enjoyed Jean, and it wasn't until, oh gosh, it's not recent anymore, but I'd say within the last 5 to 6 years, New X-Men and Uncanny X-Men had a great run, and they kind of crossed over, and it had Scott Botchlo art, which I love, and I think an Immonen was writing on it. Like those comics, and they had a fun thing where like you had some time travel, so you had really young, like old school X-Men from like that younger, more innocent time interacting with the current one. And not only the way that they wrote Cyclops, but the way that they wrote Jean, they were great. Like it was such an enjoyable read, and I was like, oh shit, it only took me 25 years of reading X-Men to finally get a story where I didn't hate both of them.
I think the 90s cartoon ruined a lot of specific X-Men for me.
Yeah.
I guess no, just Jean. Because I actually liked Rogue back then. I don't like Rogue now because of the live action movies.
Yeah, Anna Paquin was not my top pick for Rogue.
Yeah, I think that's
Strange.
had it been a different actress, maybe I'd still like Rogue. Maybe it was the way she was written in those movies. But
yeah, I think that's part of it. Like, and I feel bad because I usually chalk it up to Anna Paquin, but there's a good chance it was just how she was written.
Yeah.
But again, you talk about X-Men Evolution. I loved Rogue's character in that. She had an amazing story arc. So
That is true. I think X-Men Evolution kind of gave that idea of her being a student and really ran with the original concept of her character a little bit better.
yeah.
she should be very interesting. Her powers are very interesting. Her relationship with Wolverine is very interesting. Just something about her in that movie, it just like,
I think she's a little too damsel in distressy for the strong character that we knew in the 90s. It was very bizarre.
Yes, I think that's a great way to put it. Yes, Chad agrees. Nobody likes Scott Summers or Cyclops.
Oh, I liked him, but I liked him for the wrong reasons because I thought he was hot.
I mean, you know, clean cut. Like he's got some good hair game. Oh, seriously, Del? So Del said in chat, Rogue has a good shot of showing up in Captain Marvel 2.
Oh.
She also says Alex Summers is hotter. Oh, to your point, Bean. So Bean says in chat, I think what really made me hate Rogue in the movies was her taking the cure, quote unquote, at the end of the 3. Which one, the third movie, just terrible. But I also love the meme that came from that, where you've got Storm and Rogue, and it's Storm, and she's like, you know, why would anybody want to take the cure? It says girl with like magic happy cloud powers. Says, gee, I don't know why, said the girl who kills anything that she touches.
I do love that meme, but I will also agree with the chat that, yeah, when she took the cure, it was, I understand why as a character she wanted to take it, but there was just something about it that like the message of the entire movie it kind of undid. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I didn't enjoy that movie at all.
I barely remember it. I just remember, well, that was the one with the forest fight, right? They like all the X-Men are like moving through the forest.
Had McSteamy as Multiple Man, which I thought was amazing casting because he's snarky and sarcastic and super underused. It was like friggin' Deadpool. I'm like, good. Bring in Deadpool for the first time and not have him talk.
Right. So his mouth shut. Good job, guys.
Good planning, guys. Well done.
So we got in the chat here, Rogue got her streaks from attacking Carol Danvers in the comics.
Yeah.
And what is interesting about that is, as I was rewatching the 90s X-Men cartoon, they actually do that plot. Like, I do not remember at all There was a whole flashback to her fighting with her, and then like the spirit of Carol Danvers was like inside Rogue's head and was like trying to take over her body, and it was wild.
Yeah, it had a lot more like interwoven storylines, and I know obviously Marvel Cinematic Universe couldn't do a lot with it because they couldn't even say mutants, let alone use that part of it. But yeah, no, that was like Captain Marvel was a big part of all that, Ms. Marvel at the time, but like, yeah, it was just
Yeah.
yeah.
What a cat?
I think that was the child.
That's a child. Yeah, I have the baby monitor in my room so I can hear my kids upstairs.
I agree.
My back, I was like, is that my kid?
I like it. Everybody's either got like a kid or a cat, or somebody's like, wait, what was that? What was that? Somebody else's.
Yeah, I checked on my cat who is right next to me in a small blanket fort.
Yeah, so Delta is Jean and Pyro, and X3 were basically Wanda and Pietro. Yep. That's it. Yeah, no, Claude, I agree with you. Oh, baby. Hello.
It's okay. Everyone wants to see how pretty you are.
Oh.
All right, I'll let you sleep.
Mom.
I can't talk about Cat and not show Cat.
Okay.
And she's
Like,
so
come
ready
on,
to
I
do
didn't
it.
even groom my fur yet.
It's okay. She woke me up at like 7 this morning for food.
Oof.
She's on a very good schedule. 7 a.m. every morning. And then I go back to sleep.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree. Last Stand was so bad. I can't go back and rewatch that movie. It just infuriates me.
And again, like Famke Janssen as Jean and Dark Phoenix should have been great because she's got the look, she's got the acting chops, and it fell so flat. Yeah, among so many other things.
Mm-hmm. But I actually really liked X2. I thought it was decent.
Yeah. Well, I think looking back at it now through the lens of 21 Marvel movies, it's not as good in that sense. But from what we came from with like Fantastic Four,
Oh,
X1 and X2 were great.
yeah.
Yes, Dell, big ups to that. Alan Cumming was super wasted in X2. That was a gripe I did have because I think he's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. He was a perfect fit for Nightcrawler. Like they should have just done so much more with him.
Yep.
Also, Nightcrawler is my favorite, so there could never be enough Nightcrawler.
Excuse me, I would like more Nightcrawler, please.
Yes, I would be drawing X-Men Hebe Buffet.
That action was the best one season 5. Was that the one with Zoe Deschanel? That was like a 4-parter because I watched that one. Was that
Oh
it?
yeah, I think it was just called The Tin Man, right?
Yeah, because that's actually
God, I
that
remember
was
the Tin Man.
good. Like it was better than it should have been. Yeah.
Yeah, Tin Man was pretty good. I liked the 10th Kingdom better, though.
Was that also?
That one?
I don't remember that one.
I remember watching, maybe it was like just like a fan review or someone did a deep dive into the Tin Man and what it was supposed to be. Like it was actually called the Tin Man because it was supposed to be more about just the Tin Man story, and it wasn't originally supposed to have Dorothy, or what do they call her? DJ or something?
DG for Dorothy
DG.
Gale.
DG. It wasn't originally supposed to have her in this story, and it was a bunch of rewrites that included her and changed it to be about her and her sister, spoiler alert, and all this stuff. It was originally supposed to be because the story of the Tin Man from the original Wizard of Oz story is like a really interesting but sort of depressing story. So it was
Very
supposed to be about that. Yeah, very, very dark story. But it was interesting to just, because I had seen on Sci-Fi Channel when it first aired, and then to like see a deep dive someone did of like, hey, here's a bunch of stuff you didn't know about this movie that seemed maybe a little bit confusing why it was made.
Yeah, no, the original Wizard of Oz book, I had students at the library read it, so I got a grant so we could buy books for the kids for a month, and then we would come in at the end of the month after they read it and watch the movie. And we would do pros and cons between like movie versus book, and we draw art based on the two. And like they could not get over the difference between the Wizard of Oz book, which is not a big book, like it's a quick read, but it is so vastly different than the movie.
That's true. There's a lot of changes and differences, but you can see why they did those changes and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and Sarah is our resident Oz girl and has everything Oz, so.
I accept my tattoo. I haven't gotten my Oz tattoo yet. But my friend is, well, COVID happened, but before COVID was apprenticing to be a tattoo artist. So at some point, she'll be doing a half sleeve of Oz. But during the past couple weeks, I've been listening to the Oz books on like YouTube. They're all free audiobooks on YouTube. And so when I'm doing art, I've been listening to all of those books, and they're all they've got kind of quirky, weird, bizarre things in them. And they're very punny, if you enjoy puns. Yeah. Very punny. They were written, the first one was written and released in 1900, like the year 1900. So.
Well, and too, like they had the old school, like woodblock print illustrations in them, which are very cool. Again, real trippy, real weird, but beautiful.
I really like the illustrations from the first one are, I think, kind of ugly. They just make Dorothy look schlumpy.
Well, and she's so small. She's such a little kid in that, like in those illustrations. But
They did comics recently. Well, by recently, I'm sure it was like 5 or 6 years ago. At this point.
Scotty Young did amazing comics. And he was doing like all of it. Like he wasn't just sticking to like movie version. Like he was doing actual based on the books one. They're amazing. You should check them out. I have some of them in like oversized hardcover because I love them so much.
Like every line of dialogue is represented. It's literally the full book in comic form.
Yeah, and beautiful art. I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of his, but I think the way that it is represented is just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, Hebe Buffet is talking about the Oz cartoon that they had back in the day, which I actually got for Sarah on DVD a while back.
On my shelf right here.
Can I just say how nice this is that we kind of are spanning all interests? Like someone says, "Oh, I remember this vague thing," and then there's someone else in the group that's like, "Yeah, no, I am obsessed with A, B, and C." I just like that we are a good mashup of random 90s trivia.
Yeah, and just a lot of
trivia.
We would make a very good 90s trivia team.
We would. That's true.
Yeah. Oh, so Dell had mentioned her friend Sarah actually has an amazing Tin Man tattoo. So that's cool. Now, do you guys remember along kind of the same lines? Sci-Fi also put out, it was like an extended movie called Alice that was their take on Alice in Wonderland. And again, motion graphics notwithstanding, I actually really liked that one. Like I liked it enough that I owned it because I was like, oh no, this will disappear and I'll never see this again because it was sci-fi. And but yeah, because it included the Jabberwock and had a lot of other really cool stuff that was more of a nod to the actual book.
I think I remember seeing a commercial for it, but I don't think I ever watched it on Sci-Fi.
Well, hey, someday when the world isn't on fire, you can come over and
I would love to see it.
I'll come visit you and your kid and your husband, and I'll bring you.
All right, that sounds like a plan.
Over. Ooh, all right. I gotta highlight Jeff again because you're doing colors, and that looks cool. There you go.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to watch the reboot of He-Man again.
There's a new one coming out soon.
Ooh. Is it going to be done by the same people who did She-Ra?
I believe it's the same studio, but it's Kevin Smith is actually helming the whole thing, and he says it's a continuation from the original. So we'll see, I guess. Mark Hamill's going to be Skeletor.
Oh my God.
And Mark Hamill.
So
My second favorite voice actor after Charlie Adler. Just beating out Rob Paulson. But
I'd have to say mine is still Tim Curry.
Yeah.
that's fair. I just count him as actor in general, one of my favorites. So I feel like
Rob Paulson?
no, Tim Curry.
Oh, Tim Curry.
Thing of you can kind of gauge a person by how they know Tim Curry, like what their first remembering of him is, or what movie they first saw him in.
Mine was Mighty Max. He was Skullmaster. He was the villain in Mighty Max, actually playing opposite of Rob Paulson as Max. So, look, it all comes full circle. I'm gonna tie everything back to Mighty Max today. That's my goal.
Yeah, mine was a tie. I saw him in Clue, but I also really knew him in The Hunt for Red October, where he plays the doctor. And people are like, seriously? And I was like, yeah, that's a big family movie. We watch it a ton, and that's the one I always know him.
Hexus from Fern Gully.
Oh yeah,
He was great as Hexus.
And the Prince of Darkness in Legend.
That's what I know him from.
That giant prosthetic that took him 6 hours to put on. Jeez.
that movie is very strange. I will admit that was one I didn't watch when it was original or something. I came back to it much later, and I think I couldn't revert back to that state to enjoy it. I was just like, what is happening? I don't understand.
I went a very long time never having seen Legend, and then I saw it when I was in my teens, and who hid this movie about unicorns from me? Who? Because I watched it just when I was getting out of that little kid phase, but I knew that I would have been obsessed with this movie if I had seen it when I was a kid, because unicorns, what? So
Yeah.
I was always a little sad that I saw Legend so late in the game.
Yeah, I don't think I watched it until college, honestly.
Same.
It was in the group of movies that I saw as a kid and I had these weird memories of, but didn't know what it was called until later in life. I think The Dark Crystal, The Labyrinth, they were movies I watched a ton anytime I caught them on TV. But until I reached maybe 13 to 15, and then I was like, oh no, these are real things. They're not just fever dreams I've had.
Well, and it was such a different time because then if aside from going to the video store, if you didn't know the name of it and it wasn't being advertised on TV, like it kind of didn't exist if your family didn't own it. And that's such a weird, like, is that part of my memory or a dream or? Oh, so we've got in the chat, we've got Muppet Treasure Island, Rooster from Annie, Congo, Captain Planet. We've got a whole bunch of Tim Curry love. Also, Dell says we could do a draw prompt where everyone draws a Mark Hamill character in the style of another Mark Hamill character. It's very meta.
Oh, I sort of love that one.
Yeah.
There's enough of them, isn't there?
I claim Fear Feaster from Adventure Time.
I'll do the Trickster.
I'll do
Not many people remember the Trickster.
Fear Feaster in the style of the animated portion of the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yeah, that's the one I want. I want Luke in the style of the Joker. Soapbox Klotz also says he'll be upset if someone doesn't use cockknocker in that prompt, which was a very fun sentence for me to say just now. All right.
Finding Brock's shoes is hard. Brock, stop hiding your shoes.
Ooh,
I'm
Joker
having to choose. Oh.
Sorry, I was just gonna say we just got a really good one. Joker as Ozai.
That is a good one. That's a really good one.
Telling you what, Del, you are knocking it out of the park today. Yeah. Okay. But also, can we talk about how, like, I feel like Mark Hamill was on this track to be such a big movie star, and then obviously, you know, with the car accident and face change and the way that Star Wars went, like, becoming so huge in the world of voice acting and that part of it. I find that is a very interesting path for him.
Yeah.
There was I watch a lot of documentaries. There was another thing that I watched very recently within the last week that was actually going over his thought process trying to get away from being typecast as like the young hero ingenue, and he got into voice acting fairly early because he wanted to get away from because he knew that people were just seeing him as Star Wars, and he was going to be typecast as this character, and so he started to do these crazy voice acting just because he wanted to break out of that typecasting, and to think like, and he did wonderfully.
He did, and the world was a better place for it.
Yes,
and he learned about voice acting because he did his own voice for Luke in the Star Wars Holiday Special animation. And he was like, this is cool. Yes. I like this.
Which is the only time that's ever been said about the Star Wars animation of the Holiday Special.
No, that whole portion, it's so bizarre and like...
It's so bizarre. And it is the strangest thing. Talk about fever dream. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm watching.
I still think the funniest part of that is Mr. Heartthrob Harrison Ford being portrayed as like the ugliest character in that entire animation.
Yeah. I was like, man, whoever was like lead animator on that really didn't like Harrison Ford. Be like, nope, I'm making him ugly. Try and stop me.
It might have been one person that did that full
It wouldn't surprise
thing. But it almost looks like I can't think of the term. Straightforward animation instead of like.
Oh yeah,
cheese.
Yeah.
It's
No, it's
so surreal looking.
Okay, so I'm just gonna call it out. So anybody in chat who was curious about the final reveal of Daphne, she's now appearing on your screen.
Yeah, there she is.
Oh, yep. Yeah, big shout out to Chewbacca's grandpa for straight up watching porn while the kid's running around, bringing it back to porn. Yeah.
Chewy.
Felt really
what
bad
is his
for him
name?
after that. I was like, wow, your family sucks. Oh, no wonder
His wife Mala is beautiful.
she is. She is beautiful.
She's trying her best.
Yeah, not much you can do with Lumpy.
Ugh.
Which I got to draw recently, and can I tell you the amount of joy? I was like, this is so ridiculous. I'm gonna lean in though.
Yeah, one of our friends here in Pittsburgh, he does an annual Star Wars Christmas special get together. So we all sit down and watch that. And I mean, it didn't happen this year for obvious reasons, but every time the grandpa porn scene comes on, we're all like, shh, 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 this is the best part. We got to watch.
Because in quarantine, we are all Chewbacca's grandfather. Like, nope, time for my porn. Because there's no joy in this world. Sunlight. Ah. Oh.
Right, I think I've got to make a decision. Pokeball or donut?
Okay, guys, I want to see. Because we haven't gotten to see yours yet.
Yeah, I got to that point. Let's see, can I make my camera work? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good job.
so good.
Oh, that's awesome. I think it's got to be Pokeball.
I'll be Pokeball.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Dell in chat says, once caught a guy just casually watching porn in a Dunkin' Donuts. Yep, that's fun.
Oh boy, that's rough.
At least it wasn't playing with himself while I was walking down the street. There was a guy in a car in Oakland.
No.
And I saw that he was looking at me in his rear view mirror, like the side mirror. And I'm like, do I know this guy? I'm in Oakland a lot. Like, maybe I know this guy. So I'm like watching him in his mirror. And then I see him like walk past the window. Nope, he's just having a time. And I'm like, I'm going to keep walking, but what do I do? Do I call the cops? Like, he's going to be done before the cops get here. Like,
Oh,
I literally have no idea what I'm supposed to do. So now I just have a ridiculous story that I caught a guy broad daylight, middle of like, I think it was like 10 or 11 in the morning, just in a parked car. So I don't know if that's better or worse than in Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, I don't know that it's good anywhere. It's like one of my favorite so I enjoy the podcast My Favorite Murder, and they have a guy who does little animated snippets of it, and one of the ones they did was the Swiss cheese pervert, which I won't spoil that for you. If you guys are interested in that, check that out. Yes, Nicole, I didn't even think of that. So Nicole is going to run a poll in chat. So chat, you get to vote between donut or Pokeball. So, and Hebe Buffet says, I work in a hospital and I've walked into people casually whacking off. Then he clarifies, patients, not workers.
Oh, that has
But
to
the
be
question
so weird,
here-
though.
Yeah.
The question here is it the Esurance girl that they're whacking off to? Like, that's the question.
She is too sexy.
That's sexy.
It's Family Guy.
Draw 5 characters, I said. It'll be fun, I said.
That's why I drew them ahead of time.
Yeah, well, as we all know, you are much smarter than I am. So
I hear there are weird lines on your face, Ash Ketchum. They're just like little V's on his face. Like, but why?
It's a style.
I always thought they were supposed to be freckles. But they're not. I don't.
Yeah, I thought it was like because he was perpetually like getting into stuff, so his face was like scuffed up. But
Yeah, like wind shaped or something.
but no,
Because Sailor Moon has those too.
has Brock, so I'm not going to speculate too hard about faces in Pokemon. Snarf, you are strange looking.
Oh yeah.
All I heard was Snarf, you are strange, and I love it.
Well, he's got the like weird like human feet with the long toes. It's just it's odd.
Where's my Snarf action figure?
I mean, except for when they did the reboot of Thundercats.
Yeah, he's super cute in that.
Yeah. Like, I actually like Snarf in that because he doesn't talk.
He just
I
makes
like
cute
you because you
noises.
don't talk. I like them when they don't talk.
Just see Randall holding his finger up, like, no, shh, shh, you're too pretty. Just shush.
Mm. Wouldn't be the first time I've said that.
All right.
And not to snarf.
No. Reminder, this is an 18+ stream.
Chalk up my missing Snarf to my cat. She likes to steal minis and things. When I do meetings and things, I usually put action figures and things in my.
Aw. Little Yoda.
Yeah, I have to hide Yoda because my cat hates him, and I don't know why. Just does not like Yoda at all. But I usually decorate things.
Your cat's from the Empire.
Oh no! Yeah, I usually put action figures and things in my camera space. Those are children, not cats.
That would be my oldest child yelling at all the other kids playing Fortnite right now because he's losing. I hear him call people idiots and stupid all day, and he gets yelled at for it. So.
Oh, okay, so Sarah, you got 3 people voting, and they voted unanimously for Donut. So,
All right, I got to erase this Pokeball. We had a Pokemon party when I lived with Randall, and I made onigiri and labeled them as rock donuts. And you could tell who was old enough to have watched the series originally and who wasn't, because we have kind of a wide spectrum of ages for friends. And some people would just come in and like they thought it was the funniest thing ever, and then other people were like, "These aren't donuts."
It's like one of those age tests at the driver's license when they just like look at. It's like, oh, I see the one. You're old enough. It's like, oh, you recognize this as a donut. Okay, you're old enough.
I'm looking at the images of them, and it looks like he's holding them on like one of those mats that you use for making sushi, like the rice mats, even too. So it's like, it's crazy that they would change it to say that he made them jelly-filled donuts. These donuts are great. Jelly-filled are my favorite. What was that 4 kids made him say?
what was that?
Was 4 Kids the company that initially did the dub?
No.
I don't think 4 Kids was around when they originally did the first Pokemon dub. 4 Kids did a lot of the other ones, but I don't know if they did the first Pokemon one. Maybe they did.
I thought they did. I thought that was like their first big thing they did.
Oh, maybe it was.
We have Pokemon to thank for all the years of perversion that they did to our anime.
Has anybody
Instead of thanks Obama, it's thanks 4 Kids.
Thanks, Fortune.
So according to Hebe Buffet, 4 Kids was the first Pokemon dubber, but then it changed during Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald.
Oh.
Okay, so I'm not a. I was pretty sure 4 Kids didn't do all of it. But
I like his comment. James was the original drag queen with the titty.
Oh no.
And
That infamous swimsuit episode that they did not let us have.
I have watched it subbed. The best part is when he pulls a string and they inflate. That's my favorite part.
America's cowards.
I also
Miss
totally
James.
have a crush on James. He's adorable, and he loves his Growlithe so much that he won't get married to
Jezebel.
yeah, I was gonna say I'm trying to remember what her name is because Jessie has different personas that are similar sounding. Yeah. He will not get married to her specifically because she wants him to get rid of his Growly. It's like I wouldn't marry her either.
you ask too much.
So, and I don't know how many people watch Drawfee, but their most recent episode, they drew themselves as Team Rocket personas,
Oh my god.
Ah!
and I thought that was a really fun prompt.
Yeah, so if you guys in chat aren't familiar, definitely check out Drawfee. So it's DRAWFEE. They're all over YouTube. They've got all their stuff. They've been doing it for years. It's a collection of artists who used to draw for like College Humor and BuzzFeed and Dorkly and all of that. But they do really great stuff, and they're just really entertaining to listen to. So definitely check that out.
They also always have just the most fun prompts. Like sometimes just even hearing their prompts and thinking like, oh yeah, what would I do in that situation is enough to like, and I don't know, it gets me drawing sometimes. It's like, oh, that's a really fun prompt. I want to see what I would create with said prompt.
Absolutely.
Randall's done that.
I have. Kristen did too. She did draw herself as a Pokemon gym leader.
Yeah, we both did that, and mine was very tongue-in-cheek. Because all my favorite Pokemon are ice types, but I hate the cold more than anything else on this planet. So it's just me in front of a heater. It's just me in front of a heater wearing a big puffy jacket, being miserable while my Pokemon feel sad for me.
Oh,
Aw.
Spoiler alert, that's my persona.
I'm kind of sad none of the Futurama characters really have eyebrows. And Brock's eyebrows are super eyebrowy.
yes.
They don't?
Yeah, like Fry does not have eyebrows normally.
So I know, Megan, you were going to say something at some point, and then I think we got distracted. But
Oh, I got completely distracted. What were we talking about?
I have no idea. Remember Aaron Esurance? I can remember something from 13 years ago, but what happened 5 minutes ago? What? Squirrel?
I think we were
I can
talking
move on to
about
inking.
Aw, they look so cute.
Oh, I like that.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that looks really cute. I like it.
Ink it so
I
everyone can
forgot
actually
about
see.
the old dubs and stuff and how awful they were, etc., etc.
All right, well, I'm down to my final member here. Let's see if anybody in the chat can guess which one this one is. It's not just Scooby.
Oh, and Forging Winton has a question for you, Sarah. Is Professor Oak going to be Farnsworth?
I was only going to do the original like 3 characters, but now I want to make another one.
See, this is the trick bean where all you have to do is throw out the inspiration to Sarah, and she's like, well, now I have to do it.
I think I'm going to ink these guys. Get this done, but I do feel like Farnsworth and Oak's not that old though.
but you're so old. One of my favorite lines from Aladdin. Like totally hypnotized and everything, but was like, but wait, but you're so old. And I feel like that's on a deep, deep level now.
I gotta jump off here, guys. I'm calling mine done. If you want to show my
Absolutely.
thing real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That looks great. I love that background too. That makes the colors just pop so
Yeah.
quickly.
Thank you.
That is super fun.
That is awesome. Yeah. If you want to drop a copy of that into the Discord, I can tag it out. When we do stuff, let me. Hey Nicole, can you drop his info into chat? And I'm going to do where's my thing? Yeah. So if you want to follow more of Jeff's stuff, I know we've got Jeff Munn. I tagged him on Twitter for the announcement I did earlier. So definitely go follow him, follow his awesome stuff. He's got crazy amounts of cool stuff going. And a bunch of new projects that you're working on with.
Yeah, I've got quite a few different things, most of which will hit my Patreon before it hits public. Yeah, I've got a couple animated web series I'm working on, and one graphic novel that I'm working on. So,
yeah,
Wow.
that's awesome. Yeah, so everybody, make sure you go over and follow him because his stuff is awesome. So, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us and drawing and kicking ass as always.
Thanks for having me.
So, yeah, hopefully we'll see you again.
Yep.
For too long.
All right, guys. See you later.
See ya.
Take care.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see his image animate so badly. Like I want to see that fight.
Yeah, his animation stuff is awesome. So definitely check him out.
I'm really loving the colors and just the I know words. Where you have multiple things on a frame and you make them all compiled in an aesthetic manner.
Composition.
Thank you.
Randall knows words.
That is a word that was drilled into my head, but for some reason I completely forgot. I was able to describe what it was eloquently, but not remember the word.
This is why we draw. This is why we draw.
Yeah,
It's the weekend. You don't have to sweat the small stuff like words.
Just sweat the toxins from your night drinking on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. Don't call me out like that.
Excuse me.
I mean, I had wine in my hot chocolate last night. I'm not going to lie.
Ooh, how was that? I've never had that before.
Delicious. It's tricky though because my friends we were in a chat and talking about different ways to make it, and every recipe online that they tried, the milk like instantaneously curdles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I would assume. So what'd you do?
I got powdered milk, and powdered milk lacks the enzyme that allows for curdling.
This is some
So
That's big brain thinking right there.
yeah.
No, it was me going, internet, does soy milk curdle? Yes. Does almond milk curdle? Yes. Does coconut, like every single actual milk?
Give me all that nut juice.
Yeah, it just, powdered milk's the only option that doesn't curdle. And it's not the wine that does it, it's the heat. When you heat actual milk, and then it's like so close to just curdling already. When you make actual hot chocolate from scratch, that as soon as you put in something acidic, it's just like blurt. The word of the day today is blurt. I've used it twice now. But yeah, red wine and hot chocolate.
I was gonna say, I know that they have a red port wine at a winery near me that's a chocolate port and like a chocolate, I think it's called Chocolate Lab. And I was thinking, I was like, oh, I bet that would actually like kind of go pretty well. But yes, Nicole. Yes. I love the Jack Whitehall has a whole bit about like going to Starbucks and be like, which kind of milk would you like? And he's like, the one from a tit. Like, good job.
Yeah, that's one of my least favorite things if I'm making coffee and I buy like almond milk creamer or something, because that like it's the worst for curdling as soon as you put it in your coffee.
Yeah, I've been messing around with some oat milk and some almond milk just to try, and because some of them they're lower calorie, so just trying to try them in different recipes. I made the mistake once though, and I wasn't thinking because I had almond milk, and at one point I had bought the unsweetened without a lot of extra flavor, but then I'd accidentally gotten a vanilla, and I went to make macaroni and cheese, and I used the vanilla one instead, and I was like, oh, this tastes weird. This is a weird I mean, I'm still gonna eat it, but odd.
I'm my stomach turned a little bit. the thought of vanilla mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, I accidentally did that with curry once too. All I had was vanilla soy milk.
Oh no.
It was not good.
I feel like that sounds like it would taste better than vanilla mac and cheese. Neither is a good option, but
yeah, I'm not recommending either of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend either.
I guess I feel like if you put like coconut cream in like a curry, but if you're not going for like a sweet spicy curry, then
right.
Yeah, it was a Japanese curry, so it was supposed to be like gravy. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, it could work in an Indian curry, but yeah, Japanese curry. Oof.
Yeah, did not go over well. I still ate it because it was food, but yeah, would not recommend.
I mean, I could be picky about some things, but I'm still gonna eat it. Favorite taste of them. Deep fried mac and cheese. What happened in vanilla mix here? They put apparently they put chocolate in Japanese curry sometimes. Interesting. I mean, well, if you've got like a dark chocolate that's got some like bitterness to it, I could see that.
I've never heard of that.
They sometimes do cocoa powder rubs on meats, like red meat, lamb, and beef. That's not too far out of the realm, I don't think.
Now you guys are just making me hungry.
Much time.
So basically, what I'm hearing is the next time you have a sweet milk, just throw some chocolate in it and make it better.
I mean, chocolate does make a lot of things better.
There we go.
Okay. Yes. Deep fried vanilla mac and cheese.
My roommate was actually talking last night about this thing that he saw, like one of those weird, gross TikToks that somebody did, where they put like a straight up slice of American cheese in their hot chocolate.
Mm.
And they're like, no, this is how we drink it in Puerto Rico. And he's like, bitch, I'm from Puerto Rico and I've never seen this nasty shit. What are you all talking about? And then like all these other people that he talked to are like, yeah, you didn't do that. Like we always did that. So I guess it's like a weird thing they do.
No, but no.
It reminds me, I don't know if anyone else had this, but that kid in elementary school that when you're in the cafeteria, he just starts mixing everything that's on his little plastic elementary school lunch tray. Like the baked beans with the tater tots, with the ketchup, like just mashing it all together into a, like, I don't know why, but that's what that reminds me of.
Oh, I'm gonna
Just-
call out Simkin in chat for cheese and apple pie is legit good, and that's only ever gonna make me think of Pushing Daisies, where Chuck is baking cheese into the crust of the bread for her aunt. So, like they.
Cheddar cheese does go with most things.
I mean, I'll never like cheese is always a yes for me.
I was doing research on putting together a cheese board, and they literally were like, cheddar cheese goes with every type of wine. Just so you know.
No, that's why. So a lot of the wineries, obviously, with all the COVID stuff, a lot of the changes, and we had to serve food along with our wines, and we chose to do popcorn because we'd already done it. But a lot of people pick cheddar cheese because it's not going to impact you enjoying the wine, and it's not going to mess up your palate that much, so that you can try a lot of different wines, and it'll go with almost everything they have on their lists. So, yeah.
Here,
Okay, and just a reminder to anybody, make sure you save. It's been a few hours. It's been 2 hours.
For a second, I'm totally analog today, and for a second I went, oh my god, I haven't saved yet.
When you draw something and you're like, where's the Control Alt Delete? Like, where did I put that?
Yeah, where's my? I need my Control V.
I actually did that thing. I don't know if you guys have seen the videos where artists are drawing and then they try to zoom. Like a lot of TikToks do that. And I did traditional art for the first time in a while, a couple months ago, and I totally didn't think that was a thing until I did it.
Yeah. No,
Or where you like pinch your fingers like you're trying to zoom or something?
Yeah, because I'm so used to working on the iPad now. So I'm like sitting here drawing and I'm like, I really need to get this line closer. And I did it. And I'm like, Megan, what are you doing?
Yeah, there are times where I swear my brain is just like, no, can't, brain, and just shorts out on me.
I always had trouble with hotkeys and switching between programs.
Yeah.
Like if I did anything in 3D Studio Max and then switch to Adobe, and it would take me like an hour to be like, why aren't these hotkeys working? Oh. So really what I need to do is go into the settings of all of my programs and switch all of their hotkeys to be the same.
So it's funny, Sarah, because we actually were talking about that the other day with Randall, Kristen, and I, and about how, like, for some sick reason, when I worked in CorelDRAW, to get text, it was F8 and not T, because sure, but like, what would have been the easy thing to do? Just reset all of them so that they're the same in every program. What did I do? Not that. Never that. Oh, so Bean had said earlier, he said, I remember my elementary school would give us these like breakfast corn dogs for lunch, sausage wrapped in a pancake on a stick, and he would dip them into chocolate milk. See, that doesn't sound terrible. Although I've never been like, I'm always kind of a purist. Like I don't dunk Oreos into milk. I want my milk to be like a separate drink, and I don't like dipping things into it. So, oh yeah,
Not
Nicole
milk,
said,
but I definitely dip.
So Hebe Buffet says, I tried doing that on my laptop the other day, not touchscreen, immediately frowned. Yeah, I get, so like the laptop I have is actually touch sensitive, but I don't think about it sometimes, and like I'll go to do something and I'll bump it and it'll freak out. I'm like, but why? No, please don't.
I close tabs all the time. Like if I reach up to the corner and I'll close the whole browser and I'm like, no.
That's what I love. At least if you're using Chrome, if you open it back up and do Control-Shift-T, it'll reopen all of your tabs. I'm sure you know this, but fun fact for chat. Because yeah, I do that more than I'd like to admit.
It's the moment of realization though. Every time it's just like, no, this is the worst thing ever.
Especially because I always have more than one tab open, let's be honest.
No, my
Oh,
one
yeah.
weakness, multiple tabs.
The worst is my desktop isn't touchscreen, but the laptop that I use more often is, and I will literally go up and I'll try to scroll on things, and I'm like, why aren't you working? What? And it's the amount of time it takes me to figure it out makes me feel sad. That I should just instantaneously be like, oh, I made him. No, I just for like 30 seconds until it clicks.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, now we've got the whole crew in base colors. So there they are.
All right, I'm gonna try this. You should be in the right spot. Let me see if I can get it to. There we go.
Oh,
Look
you
at
did
that.
it this time.
So I know there is something about StreamYard where you have to be in a specific part of the screen in order to have it select you. But yeah, I'm still. That looks really cool though. Oh, I love the eye on Scooby. That is perfect.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna try and drop in a background and some lighting. I mentioned to Kristen I might try and do a night scene. I mean, because Scooby-Doo, everything takes place at night.
Yeah.
And you got to love that rim lighting.
Yeah, and then also try to put a little glow on Cyclops' visor and then on the glowing Mystique eye, just to like make it pop a little bit more.
Yeah. I love that Jubilee so much though. Like her it's just perfect. I love it. Yeah, it looks so good.
It's like they were posing, and then Jubilee's like, no, I'm going to be in this too. And they're just, Fred's like, yeah, no, of course you're going to be in this.
The little 90s baby of the team.
Oh, there's the other one. Sorry.
Hebe Buffet says, I still like that Fred's phrase was, I don't know. Oh, Fred.
Oh, Fred. Aw, honey.
I don't know, and let's split up, gang. That was it.
What was it that did? I remember it existed. It was something, I think it was Scooby-Doo, or it was like a Scooby-Doo parody where you had like a pair or a group of actual ghost hunters or paranormal investigators, and then you had this like either the Scooby Gang or a parody of the Scooby Gang, and they're like, let's split up, and then the main characters were like, no, don't do that. That's a horrible idea. Why would you ever split up? And it was just a very comedic thing where they kept poking fun at the like real paranormal investigators poking fun at the Scooby formula.
Possibly
I can't remember what it was.
Halloween Scooby-Doo special is what Bean says in chat.
I cannot remember, to be honest.
Yeah,
oh, that's a Halloween too. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you're saying it is, then I believe you. It was. It's one of those where you have like an echo of a memory, but you have no visuals to go along with it. You're just like, I know this happened, but I don't know how.
I thought at first maybe it was the Supernatural Scooby-Doo special.
Oh,
that's right. There was a Supernatural one.
When I was thinking of the scene in had it, then lost it. The zombie movie with Simon Pegg.
Dawn of the Dead?
Thank you. Where they had like all of their like matching people and they all walked by and they were like each group member matched up with the other group. That's what I was thinking.
That wasn't what I was remembering.
Oh no, that's where my brain, that's the one thing, because I don't have any memory of it. I was like, my brain, here, I offer you this. And it's very much the inside out. It's like, triple make them, this ain't no fun. Yeah. It's all fine, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Dean was saying the X-Men drawing is the Halloween special. Yeah.
Oh.
And Hebe Buffet says, my brain went, Simon Pegg was on Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island? Yes. You are in good company. Yes. Yes, Slayer Braxis also brings up this Supernatural special.
So good.
Maybe that's what it was. Like when you consume so much media and you can't even remember.
Yeah.
Well, and especially when that media then is like overlapping with, it's referencing other media. So, yeah.
Remember when I was really good at hand inking things? Might do this and then do it again and see how well I which is silly. I'll just scan it and touch it up digitally. That's fine. I used to be like professional inker person.
Well, as I always tell the kids, like, it's a muscle just like anything else, and if you're not working with it and doing it, it changes and fades. And but I'm betting, like, if you sat down, Sarah, and did a bunch of it, it would come back really fast because you've got that good base of it.
I'm starting with Misty and going, like, Brock will be perfect, I think, by the time I get there. But I'm like, do I finish this Misty and count that as practice and start over? Which maybe I should. Then the lazy part of me is like, nah, just fix it digitally.
Fix it in post.
Yep. It's a way of life.
I don't think that's lazy. I think it's pragmatic.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like the lies that we can convince ourselves of.
Well, I had an interesting chat. I ended up clipping it and putting it over on my YouTube, but on my stream a week or so ago, I had one of the people in chat who doesn't do digital art was like, does it feel like cheating if you could just like select something and reshape it and resize it? And it did. It made me really think, because I was like, no, it doesn't feel like cheating, but the big thing that's important to me, that even though now I can work digitally and I can do things faster and make those changes, it's important that I don't lose my technical skill in drawing on regular, like the actual traditional drawing in pencil and paper. Like, I still try and work that muscle as well and keep learning new techniques and doing that, so that I feel like I'm utilizing the tools that are available and not quote unquote cheating. But it was interesting to think about that, especially with getting a new tablet and being able to do things differently.
My friend who does the tattoos, she has a lot of really good technical skills, but she can also do digital. And she said it's the technical skills are dying out because a lot of people are starting, when they start to learn to draw, are learning to draw digitally now.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to use an actual ink pen. And when she started doing tattoos, she was like so much better than the people who had been apprenticing for over a year, because she just was like, I know how to use ink pens and different like actual physical techniques.
Right.
That like they could make beautiful designs, but then the practical putting them on someone's skin was a big step for them.
Yeah.
Like making that transition.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's still important. So I did. Yes, Bean, you're right. The conversation was with Mike and Steph. Yeah, and I think it is important, like taking life drawing classes and still giving time to some of those actual like technique building things. And I think it makes you a stronger artist top to bottom. So
it also makes you appreciate like a little bit more the art of other people as well.
Yeah.
And it makes you a better critiquer because you obviously can know if they used a different medium, how to fix it.
Yeah. Hebe Buffet says, overly ambitious, but Randall's background should be a Mystery Machine color danger room.
Oh, I like that.
That would be cool. Talk about, you're like, what? We can just do more work. Yay. What color is this? Oh, no, it's yellow.
Sometimes you have to fake the lighting just to make things look good. It's like that lie we tell ourselves.
That's kind of like, you know, when you go back and watch some of those making of featurettes for animated movies like Toy Story and whatnot, and seeing all the little tricks they do just to like make a shot look good, even if it's not how it would actually look.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like, even though this character you shouldn't see because they're being blocked by this other character and they're in shadow, they're just gonna move that other character because then it loses like all composition.
Yeah.
Just sink Woody into the floor. It's fine.
Well, but again, I think that you talk about, you know, learning the actual like technical parts of it and really learning anatomy and learning composition, all of that. But then it gives you kind of the room to play with stuff like that. Be like, okay, so this is, you know, how it should technically be, but this makes it a better image, a better moment, and all of that. And you kind of, I feel like you have a little bit more control or understanding of that, so that when you do play and when you do push stuff or exaggerate stuff, it still works.
And also, as long as it doesn't look wrong, like you're able to hide certain things so the audience doesn't even think to question, like, wait a minute, shouldn't he be? Like, no one's going to pick it up except for the people who leave those goofs on IMDb.
Right.
And even then, it's like forgivable.
With animation in movies too, there are certain like weird things that you have to do to make a composition look normal. Like next time you watch any live action movie or TV show, look how like uncomfortably close everyone is in all of the scenes. They're like on top of each other. It's like no one walks up this close to talk to someone.
Yeah.
But in a movie, they have to be this close to make the shot look good or normal.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yep.
Nope, wrong way. Not more red.
Once again, I'm so used to Photoshop that now I'm trying to figure out how to do something that takes me a second in Photoshop in Clip Studio. It's like, well, I just... What is a gradient? Why aren't you doing it?
Philosophical question for the ages. What is a gradient?
What is it?
Yeah, what? Really? Like, okay, I'm gonna give up and I'm just gonna paint my gradient and then use the blur tool because I can't figure it out. You failed me for the last time, gradient tool.
Who in Scooby-Doo would be the best Charles?
Old Man McFibbins. Or whatever the masked man of the week is.
You know, I was thinking of the Masked Men. I also admit, like, aside from the main five, like, I don't know that I know a lot of the other characters because there aren't really a lot of other recurring characters.
Yeah.
There are in the newer series.
Yeah.
Vincent Price. Vincent Price is my answer for who is Charles Xavier.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
good answer.
Well, and it's funny because Hebe Buffet just popped in the chat and was talking about 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
Oh, I like it.
I'm upset because it pops up as a recommended thing in on my Amazon Prime account, but I would have to pay for it. They're trying to get me to pay for Boomerang. And I'm like, stop teasing me with 13 Ghosts. Like, I'm so close.
I'm on to you. Pile of secrets.
All right, guys, I think I'm calling mine done.
Okay, let me switch over to you. Wait, let me. All right, look at that. Look at it. It's so cute.
Oh, wow.
Super cute.
Thank you. I kind of gave up on trying to stay traditional with the coloring. I'm just like, cell shading.
No, honestly, I kind of love it because it looks updated in that way. Like she looks much more crisp and clean. Like you remastered her. That's the word. There you go.
I would love to see your take on Strawberry Shortcake. If this is another this comp is repeated.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could do a strawberry shortcake and actually do a mashup and do that. That'd be awesome.
I love it. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think if Nicole is still around, or I can also pull it up. I just have to remember. Yes. So is your Instagram the best place to follow you? I know I also have your Etsy, Megan.
Yes, the Instagram is the best way to follow me and keep up to date with whatever shenanigans I'm getting into.
Excellent. Yeah, and also, and I can link that at some point. Oh, wait, I can link it now if I can find it. Yeah, so if you want to see, I know I've talked about it before, Megan has some awesome charms in her Etsy shop, which I'm putting in there, which you should check out. Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Nicole. So yeah, definitely check those out. She's got some really cool stuff. Speaking of mashups and fun, Sailor Moon, Zodiac, and the like that I've talked about. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Have fun, guys.
We'll see you later.
See you later.
And then there were 4.
Right.
Everyone's so speedy.
Oh man, it's the old game.
Well, I mean, I've redrawn my line art like 3 times now, so that's what I get for not setting it up beforehand. But we're getting there.
Ooh, yeah.
We're getting there.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
So you did give them eyebrows.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna do a shout out to Emily's current T-shirt.
Yes, specifically for you.
That's awesome. I wore a Pokemon shirt that was artsy.
Yay! Yeah, so if you guys in chat can't see, the shirt that I'm wearing was designed by Sarah and printed by me when I worked at the garment decorating shop. So, oh, hello. Vera has yes. I'm assuming she has been probably sleeping through the rest of this.
No.
This is a cat-friendly stream.
This is a cat-friendly stream. All right.
Randall has a cat that sometimes sneaks into his apartment.
Yes, that happened just last week, actually.
Oh my goodness.
He loves your apartment, my old apartment.
Yeah. Luckily, I was not the only one here in the apartment because I opened the front door and the cat runs in and I was like, here we go again. And being that I'm allergic to cats, not a great idea to pick one up to carry it back to the next door neighbor. So thankfully I did not have to take care of that this time. But much as I would love to, the kitties make me sneeze when I touch them.
Oh.
He's very friendly.
Is he, I mean, you said he was the neighbor's. Is he a predominantly indoor cat?
He doesn't want to be, but yeah.
What happened was our neighbor is from India and lives here. She went home for an extended vacation, found a cat outside, like a kitten, and brought it into like, I think, save it, but it was an outside cat initially, and now she's like, "You're domesticated, you're my cat now." And he's like, but outside is so cool.
but outside.
I thought it was gonna go in the reverse, where it's like the person's like, "Okay, you're an outdoor indoor," and the cat's like, "No, I'm staying here. This is my home now."
She actually does take that cat for walks, though. It's really funny to look out my bedroom window and see her standing outside with a cat on the leash.
My cat goes out on a lead too. She gets excited. I'll grab the harness, and she's like, "We're going outside." It's only allowed in our yard, which is unfortunately only partially fenced in.
Gotcha.
Mama allows me. Mama loves me.
Fortunately created a monster because she wants to go outside now, and I'm like, but it's cold and cold. She just wants to go outside to yell at the birds.
Don't we all?
Oh, Hebe. I didn't tell you about that. I'm guessing you mean that I'm allergic to cats? Which, yes, that would explain why anytime I come over, I do not pet your cats. I enjoy their presence, I just do not touch them. And yes, the neighbor cat loves to immediately run out of the door as soon as it opens. My friend Brendan, who lives next door, is constantly telling me about how the cat immediately escaped out the door and ran down to the basement and somehow got into a storage locker. And this happens pretty much every week.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just like, girl, you got to do something with that cat, because that's not great for it to do that often.
Yeah.
We're safe for the cat.
Oh, you got yellow stripe in it. Okay.
So I know I talked to Randall about this, but I have found, as things go, like with art, I'm sort of changing styles in the sense of like, I now color, like do a full color before I even ink anything, because I find adding color changes usually how I want things to be framed, or like I'll put color and then I'll say, oh, there's actually like a tangent. I need to fix that. So I feel like as things have gone forward, I've gotten out of the normal pattern that you're supposed to have when drawing. I was wondering if anyone else did that, like how you started traditionally and then you're like, you know what, this strategy actually works better for me.
So I know, I'll say just in the switch from working mostly traditionally recently because all my technology was broken, to jumping into working fully digital, it's really, really nice to be able to keep that super loose, messy work layer that I always have in my traditional stuff, and then just drop the opacity on it and essentially, quote unquote, ink over it. And to be able to do that, like, that's keeping the groove that I like, but it's making, like, I don't have to then lightbox something to ink it or then scan it and then clean it up and try and trace over everything. Like, I still get to keep kind of that energy in my art that I think I was losing sometimes because I was not a good inker.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, that the sketch always looks more, like you said, like livelier.
Yeah.
So yeah,
no,
I guess drawing,
so much
yeah, it
movement
would help with that.
sketch and yeah. Oh, and from chat, Hebe Buffet says different medium, but I used to put my whole makeup base on first before doing my eye makeup. Now I do my eyes first, then base, so I can blend it around the eyes and my eyes get cleaner. That's actually really cool. I like to know that. I mean, I'm lazy, so I just do eyes, but I'm also not good at makeup.
Yeah, so just a quick shout out to Hebe Buffet in the chat. For those who don't know who Hebe Buffet is a local Pittsburgh drag queen. And so Hebe's Twitch, if you go over there, she does drag performances and also does some Twitch gaming streams and all across the board there. So good content.
I remember you sending me some of Hebe's stuff now.
So here I can put that right in there. So anybody in chat, if you want to check that out, that is the link.
I do not like that.
Also, why, Ash, do you have weird crotch zigzag lines? I'm gonna draw them, but
God damn crotch zigzags.
It's funny you say that because as I was working on my piece and I got to their little crotch areas on like the jeans and stuff, I'm like, don't make a spider crotch. Don't make a spider crotch.
Oh my God, spider. I've never heard it called spider crotch before, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Cannot unsee.
Wow, spider crotch. It's like worse than camel toe. Spider crotch.
Yeah, I can't remember who first said that. It might have been Angela Love on one of her model sheets, but
definitely seems like an Angela Love thing to say.
Also, Hebe Buffet, I was literally just singing that in my head. I was like, spider crotch, spider crotch. So, thank you. All right, hold on. I'm going to go check to make sure the cat's not destroying things.
that's my life every moment. What is that noise? What is the cat doing?
Or it's too silent. What is the cat not doing? Are they breathing?
What are they plotting?
Right now, she's recharging batteries. So in about an hour, she'll have the zoomies.
Literally recharging batteries. You just stick a couple of AAAs in there and...
Yeah, we have eco-friendly cats now. That's what we're doing. So this lighting is definitely looking different than what I had in my head. And I'm not sure how to fix it.
Oh, I really like that. That looks good.
I was trying to do the rim lighting effects, but it's not as dynamic. I'm finding that these characters, because they're 90s characters, don't have the like color-coded for your convenience simplicity of modern characters. Like they're not just 2 or 3 tones, they're just kind of all over the place. It's really hard to balance them visually.
Say hi, Sarah.
There's a kitty.
That precious face.
Yeah. Thank you for not destroying anything.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Such a perfect murder angel.
My little murder angel. Yes. Which I keep being tempted because I hate the squirrels in my area. And I'm like, do you think you're... Yeah, I know. I said squirrel. Look here. Okay. Little murder angels. Oh my gosh. And I just love the ridiculous like facial hair. Like that was I love it. It's so good.
And back to your point, Kristen, about 90s color palettes and simplicity. It's like with all these characters, and I'm like, all of you have yellow. All of you.
That's true. While I was saying it, I was actually looking at your piece, and I was like, well, okay, maybe not that. Like, yours is kind of just yellow, but that can also be hard to balance too when it's all the same.
Oh, I bet it's. Let's try that.
Well, I think that was part of it. Is they had like we're part of a team, so they kind of purposely had yellow as a part of it. Usually the yellow, blue, and a little red for accents.
Yay, primary colors.
That would be very interesting to do like a deep dive retrospective on how color palettes and have changed.
Well, especially if you think like you talk comic books with how they were printed with like the dot and the cross dot and how you had to blend the colors that way versus now how, everything can be printed so differently.
Sarah, I think your mic might be out, unless it's just me. If you guys can hear Sarah?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were. That was my bad. My video must have been lagging.
Sometimes I apparently talk without making any noises too, like or when I'm drawing and inking, I make weird faces, so maybe you just saw a weird face.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. It could have also just been lagging on my video feed.
I do get a little blip once in a while. So Randall, you get a big enjoyment from Tony P for the Mystique Scooby.
Thank you. Yeah, that's like I said, when I had that initial thought of maybe I'll do Nightcrawler or Beast, and I was like, no, I don't want to give them a Scooby face. And then that's when the thought occurred to me, like, wait, Mystique can literally turn into anything. I should just make Mystique as Scooby. But at least,
She's like
give
the perfect one.
the yellow eye and the skull necklace just to drive it home.
Yeah, the yellow eye is so good.
We don't know what gradients are, so we're gonna make our own. Or vignettes. We don't know how to make a vignette, so we're just gonna make our own. So Randall, Forging Winton, I hope I said that right, made a suggestion for Mystique / Scooby's tail, making a slight blur to the tail.
Ooh, good idea. Except I already condensed all my color layers, so thank you, but no.
Oh, just a little too late on that. No.
That's cute, but no. Welcome to the life of a lazy artist.
Now, as someone who has worked on like a lot of commissions and had been very gig based lately, like if I'm not getting paid for it, there's a very specific limit to how much effort I'm putting in. Because, yeah, yes, Hebe Buffet, one life to live.
All right, save if you haven't saved.
Oh God.
Sarah, quick, save it, Sarah.
Just
Take
imagine
a photo or Xerox it or something.
Eats it. Like, oh God.
Well, there was a point where I picked up my teacup that still has like the gross like tea bits at the bottom, and I did like almost knock it all over everything. So
Oh no.
that would have been the I can't undo.
Yeah, I was messing around with my watercolors the other day and had a drink on the table. And the number of times I got so close to grabbing the wrong thing, I'm like, why? Why are you this way? Just no. Don't drink the paint water.
I love those mugs where it's like actually labeled like paint water, drinking water. And then you're like, oh, who would ever need something like that? And then the day comes when you're like, me, I need something like that.
Apparently it's me. I am that person.
I am hard to keep alive. All right. I'm having to change a lot of colors because I'm, again, realizing that just these characters are a little too oddly colored. Very 90s colors.
I'm
And
just
Norman is the only thing that has any green in here, so I have to like get rid of that green.
having a moment of appreciation for all the 3/4 length like compression wear that the Johnny Quest characters wear.
Oh yeah.
Flaps. Where are your pocket flaps?
There we go. One of those, God, it's like my favorite thing to do. It's like when people like have bubble wrap and they're bursting bubble wrap, or like what I think people who like ASMR kind of get out of it is when I go back through my history and I go like, this was before, this is after, before. And I love jumping between that, and it's so goddamn satisfying.
No, I get that.
And it's like, it's seriously just that therapeutic, relaxing, I don't know, just jumping between like, oh, here's my bad colors, here's my good colors. Wow, I'm such a good artist, yay me. Like that sort of self-validation.
Which is definitely necessary.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta cycle back through your history and remind yourself of where you came from. There we go. Okay.
You're like, oh, 20 minutes ago. What a time to be alive.
Right? The 20 minutes ago me was dumb as shit. Why would I put those two colors together? But like 5 minutes ago that fixed it, yeah. That girl knows what's up. Hi. Hello.
Like when Homer Simpson was tripping on chili and making the sun rise and set over and over again.
Yeah, see, there you go. Relatable.
Also, chili sounds really good right now.
Yeah.
So I figure, yeah, well, so we've been going for about 2.5 hours. Do we want to say maybe do about a half an hour more and then wrap up? If that works? Because I think the 3-hour mark is good, and we should all then probably stand up and stretch and drink some water and
Eat some chili.
eat some chili if I had any chili. I don't know what I'm going to make for lunch today.
But I like the Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes.
So did we ask in the chat? Did we ask in the chat what everyone else's favorite Saturday morning cartoons, like obscure ones, favorite ones? I don't know that we got a
No, I don't
poll
think
on the
we
chat. Like, we asked like,
We
what
didn't
would you like us to draw? But yeah, what is other people's favorite Saturday morning cartoons? New or old? I guess it doesn't have to be specifically 90s.
True.
Even
As
though
an
that's
adult,
kind of what we're embracing here.
any cartoon can be a Saturday morning cartoon.
That is true.
Oh, Andy Mentor throwing out the Pepper Ann.
Yeah. Hey, Andy.
Hebe Buffet said wasn't a Saturday morning cartoon person until anime started becoming a thing, and I remember I used to watch the when Sci-Fi, before they rebranded, had their Saturday morning anime, but they would show some of the like really intense, like way mature anime that I shouldn't have been watching. I did that. Forging Winton's throwing out his favorite as a kid was Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wait, hold on. You can't. Wait, no, because like that's the hoodie I'm wearing. I'm wearing like
Aww.
the Yu-Gi-Oh! Hoodie. I am unabashedly in love with Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know why. I just do.
No, it was fun. It's got a good concept.
Sorry, I was super excited. I agree. Yu-Gi-Oh! A jam.
Pokemon, Digimon, Cardcaptor, and Sailor Moon, which I think you pretty much just, catered right to Randall. But yeah, all about that Digimon and Cardcaptor. Yes, Hebe Buffet. I was also a big Power Rangers child, and that Yellow Ranger was my shit. Slayer Braxis is pulling out the SWAT cats.
Yeah.
All right. So Bean's referencing Spider Riders, which I'm still stuck on Spider Crotch, so I can't help it.
Oh yeah, Spider Riders was like, how many people remember that?
No, that one I don't feel like we got it.
It's a good show.
And apparently Bean has watched it the other week and it doesn't hold up. So
Oh,
Spider Riders.
that's great. Super simple. Yeah. That was early 2000s. Oh, that's right. Because what was I watching in the early 2000s? That was really, I was big in Sailor Moon early 2000s. That was my, yeah. Yeah, the dinosaurs show, that's the, not the mama. Remember that one. There was Zoids too, which I really, really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaurs. Okay, so was there an anime one that was dinosaurs? Oh, you don't think Yu-Gi-Oh holds up? I think it's very like set in its time, but kind of like the original Pokemon anime. Like it's just goofy fun, but I dig it. Andy Mentor, thank you. Friggin' Zoids. Zoids was rad. And I remember being so mad that I couldn't find more reference art of it online in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Before the internet.
When everyone had the GeoCity and Angel Fire fan sites.
Yeah, got a lot of images off of GeoCity sites. Slayer Braxis bringing up Shaman King. Another one I don't know. Oh, and Andy Mentor.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he?
Bobby's World. Thank you. Yeah. I think the big takeaway is we pretty much all were totally on board with the shows that they made to sell toys. Okay. Oh, so Fortune Winton's throwing out a Dino Squad where a group of teens could turn into dinos.
Yes, I remember Dino Squad. That show had janky animation, but the concept was weirdly like very 90s, even though it came out in like 2008 or something like that, or around that time. It came out in early 2000s, but it had a definitely like old, like early 90s vibe where they could turn into dinosaurs, like T-Rex and Stegosaurus and all that. And then obviously the villain turned into a raptor because of course he did.
Yeah, well, it was probably created by people who were not that far off from us in age. I got Flint the Time Detective thrown out. And
Monk Holy Knights. Wow.
Wow.
That I wasn't prepared to pronounce that. Also, Slayer Braxis, I'm going to need you to send me a message of that person that does fan art of Zoids because I want to live that again. I need that. I need more Zoids in my life.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like we should have a stream sometime where we specifically just do like anime.
Yeah, I'm absolutely down for that.
Like go full anime. Like
Never
No
go
shirt.
Porn.
No, really.
There's no coming back from that one, Randall.
I remember going back and watching one a few years ago called
Porn?
Wicked City. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Wicked City.
And it was one of those ones that like they showed it on Cinemax way back when they had like these weird hentai anime midnight showings or something.
Yep.
And I was like, this is so ridiculous and I love it. But the story was actually like kind of interesting.
Yeah, I had one that I still remember to this day because I was a weenie and didn't like scary things. It was Demon City Shinjuku, like the Shinjuku actual like train station, but it was all demons and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is really scary and really bad things happen. But I can't look away. But I obviously, again, I still remember it to this day. Oh, thank you, Hebe Buffet. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Yeah, that one. Kashan. It was like he was part robot thing. Like they ended up there's a whole like series of it. But then this was like just the movie, and I just remember because it had a female protagonist in it who really didn't do much and was just bouncing boobs, but I loved her design because she had like straight blonde bangs and long, almost kind of like Sailor Moon type hair, and I was like, I want to draw her all the time. But yeah, it was like Hiro Kashan or something else. But it was spelled like Cashian, but they said it Kashan, and I'm sure dub, sub, all of that. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, you do have a polygon lasso. Cool.
I heard Porygon.
I was saying, oh, Manga Studio does have a polygon lasso. That's cool. But no, I can totally. It probably has a Porygon baked in there somewhere too.
Ooh, okay. All right. So Bean in chat is saying, who remembers their first anime? Since we're doing this. I was going to say, he thinks his was Inuyasha. And Hebe Buffet says, my first was Sailor Moon, but technically Nemo Adventures in Slumberland. Also, you want to talk about something that scared me because I was a me. And yes, Slayer Braxis mentions Gundam and Robotech. Yes.
Robotech was my first anime.
Yeah, mine was Sailor Moon.
My first was probably Dragon Ball Z, but I didn't know that it was anime. So my first anime, knowing what anime was probably Pokemon. Well, Pokemon taught me what anime was. But I didn't realize, I just watched Dragon Ball Z because, like I said before, it was on right before Sky Dancers.
Full circle. Right back to the Sky Dancers.
Full circle. Yeah.
Oh,
And then I actually ended up liking DBZ much later in life. But in the beginning, I was like, I hate boy cartoons. I want Sky Dancers.
Probably actually Dragon Ball, because it was on right after I came home from school. And I would just start watching cartoons instantaneously. It was like Cartoon Network is a thing. Going to watch cartoons every second that I'm awake.
Okay.
So I get home and get a snack and sit down, and I think it started at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, maybe it was 4 o'clock. And Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I missed that, getting home from school and immediately watching cartoons.
Yeah, that was good. It was a simpler time. Okay, so I'm going to share. So I put the name of it. So it's Robot Hunter Kashurn. probably saying it wrong, but I'll show you the lady. All boobs, but like I loved her design so much, and yeah, it was fun. That's what I remember very vividly.
This one anime looked like that,
right? No.
It was so different.
Oh, Hebe Buffet coming in with just reminded of old anime DVDs that would open up with the "What is anime?" ad. Yes. Yes. We also, I think all of us miss hand-drawn animation. And no, they don't do cartoon blocks like they used to, and I wish they did. And I remember Big O. Talk about another one that had cool design. Yeah.
I didn't appreciate Big O when it first came on because I would turn on the TV and be like, oh man, that's Steve Bloom. I'm going to see Cowboy Bebop. And it wasn't Cowboy Bebop, and it would make me sad. So I was like, I hate this show. But I went back and watched it, and it's so good. And it has like connections to Metropolis, that crazy old original sci-fi movie.
That's cool.
Started watching Big O because I had a biology teacher and he loved Big O, and he actually would give us extra credit questions based on Big O. That was our so I was like, well, God, now I have to. So I started watching it just for extra credit, but then I was like, okay, Mr. Harris had a point. Like, all right.
Yeah, because I feel like that had that cartoon block had like Big O, it had Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and like the Toonami stuff, but that was often like right up against when Batman the animated series would come on. So I remember like catching like a lot of some of those, and then getting into Batman because I was there for Batman. But
was it just Batman, or was it when they did the Batman Superman mashup?
It might have been both. I remember I actively did not watch the Superman show because I didn't care, which again, it has some good moments, but I was there for Batman, and I was definitely there for Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Yeah, you should look up like the Big O stuff. Anybody who's not familiar with it, it had a very neat style to it. I just remember like robot butler girlfriend. I always liked her design.
She was very cynical.
Yes, which I enjoyed.
I thought it was Alice.
That would probably fit.
That sounds right to me. It's been years.
All right. I think I'm good with shading. I think I actually just now have to go back and ink it because I do things in the complete opposite of what I should do.
I had an art teacher who would say that you should ink last because otherwise it's like working in a coloring book. But that was with like doing watercolors and different things. So I don't know how well it translates. Like obviously animation's a little different.
Dorothy. Her name was Dorothy.
Dorothy. Oh, not Alice.
Well done. Man, Hebe Buffet friggin' killing it today.
I knew it was from some book. You know, one of those
I should have known it then.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, I definitely remember that because there was stuff on WB that I liked, but also, yeah, when they would block them at the same time. I started watching anime. Oh, the time when Toonami wasn't a thing before Adult Swim. Oh, Bean.
I miss Toonami a lot, and they had Tom the Robot.
They still do. It's just different.
Also, you literally said Tom the robot, and my brain went immediately, Tom goes to the mayor, and then I was just like, ugh, and I got mad all over again. Not at all what you said, but yeah, brain.
All right. I think that's. If I keep messing with the colors, I'm never going to stop. So I think I'm going to say that the lighting is done, and I will move on to the actual inking part.
Well, and to your point, Sarah, when you were talking about that, I had to laugh because for so long, there was no coloring. There was only inking. And that was as much as I was going to get done. This one weird. Ooh, okay. So I did love the little bit. Andy, are you talking about Tom Goes to the Mayor for the little bit they did for... Oh, with the other Tom. I'm stuck on Tom. Ignore me. Just from Venture Brothers. But yeah, so Hebe Buffet is asking what everyone's current favorite anime is.
Oh, anime. Oh, that's good question.
Currently being produced, or just current being the time right now?
Probably just modern.
I really like Blue Exorcist. I like the Christian mythology a lot, like demons and angels. It's just a really interesting mythology. And also teen drama. 100% in for the teen drama.
Who, what studio makes that?
I don't know. It's on Netflix right now.
Okay.
It's a little older. It's like, I think it's at least 8 years old, but it is really good, Blue Exorcist. I will agree with Sarah that is a very good.
Don't say 8 years. That makes me sad. I'm like, no, it came out recently.
I only say 8, like maybe not 8, at least it's at least over 5, and I only say that because I remember I track the years sometimes because I go to a lot of conventions, and you see whatever the most popular anime is at the time. There's just like a flood of those cosplayers, so it's like, oh, okay, I went to, like 2008 was the Bleach cosplay group, and like 2012 was like the Blue Exorcist cosplay. Like, you track them by the.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so Bean says apparently there won't be a second season of Blue Exorcist. That's a bummer.
There weirdly is a second season, but it's the way the book works. It came before the ending of the first season, and there's also a movie that may happen in the manga. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm on, I think, the 7th book, and there are at least over 20, and it's still being produced.
Okay, yeah, so Hebe Buffet was current at this time. So he brings up Symphogear, which I don't know at all. Slayer Braxis brings up Love. Oh, I'm not even going to say these. And Something and Other Delusions. I'm not even going to try. Yeah. Oh, and so Bean's calling out Berserk. Yeah, Berserk was a one watcher for me, and then I will never go back to it. I was like, nope, that was enough for one. And Demon Slayer. I'd be like, Decadence Project. Singing while fighting. I love it. Log Horizon. Man, I'm so out of it. I'm so behind. 3rd season, the main character suplexes a rocket ship. Oh my god. That's great. Okay, so this is also kind of totally unrelated, but I've definitely kind of made human Panthro leather daddy.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, give him that.
This is the channel for that. Tune in next week if you want to see more Panther Leather Daddy.
Hebe said, I hate that both Randall and I went, oh.
I love it. Oh, yeah. So Bean also says he loves the ultra-violent animes. Like, don't watch Goblin Slayer if you can't deal with super dark topics. Yeah, I certainly don't mind them, and I'm happy that they produce them. It's just I balance it with, something like Cardcaptor Sakura, or I need some happiness and some joy to balance it out.
You go to like your super dark murderous animes, but then you're like, oh, I need something light. I'm gonna watch a magical girl.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Let's watch Ouran High Host Club.
Right. What was I watching? It was some horror anime. Oh, you know what it was? It was Promise Neverland. I was watching Promise Neverland and I binge watched it. And then afterwards I was like, that was great. That was phenomenal. I want to recommend that to everybody. And now I'm going to go off and watch like Pretty Sugar Princess Cure Club, like the most like flowery thing just because I needed a palate cleanser. It's like, I need to remind myself there's hope in the world.
So I think I broke Photoshop. I was trying to take my image and drop it in Discord, and I was like, I'm gonna fix the layers, and something that I hit opened up Camera Raw 13.1 out of Photoshop. So there's this new Adobe thing, and they're like, we want to share this with you, but the size of it is extended past the edges of my monitor.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't figure out how to get rid of it, and it's like right in the middle of my screen. And I'm like, I just wanted to adjust the levels of my image. Photoshop, what are you doing? And like there are two buttons that I can see are buttons, but I can't tell what they say.
Oh my goodness.
One of them opens an Adobe Photoshop thing that says, what's new in Camera Raw, in a new tab on my browser. And then the graphics processor has encountered an unrecoverable error. Fine, that's fine. Can I, there we go. What happened? Why? Adobe, why? Literally.
Because you didn't save, Sarah. Because you didn't save.
And there's no like, okay, cancel. Like, what was that? Why Adobe? Why?
Oh,
No,
we're getting
Adobe
some
for
love
today.
for, getting some love for Promised Neverland.
Yes. Promise Neverland is amazing. And for anyone that hasn't seen it, season 1 concluded. Season 2 is currently airing, and just watch it. Don't even look up what it's about. It is a horror. I guess it classifies as horror because it is pretty gruesome topics. Little kids not in safe conditions. And if for those that do like Promise Neverland, I would also highly suggest Made in Abyss. It is a great like spiritual successor, even though I think it came out first, to Promise Neverland. Or to anyone who just loves world building, Made in Abyss is where it's at.
Is Promised Neverland on Prime or on Netflix?
It is on Netflix. I think it's only the first season because, like I said, season 2 is currently airing on Funimation.
Okay.
I think it might also be on Prime, or if it's not still on Prime, it was on Prime for a while, so maybe it got moved to Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know how those companies do their things.
Well, honestly, at this point, I literally type in. I go to what's it called? Just Watch, and I just type in what I'm looking for, and then it brings up a list of all the different places where it's streaming or you can buy it. So, so Hebe Buffet in chat said, all I know about Made in Abyss is that there's pee. And just the delivery of that made me chuckle because I'm a child. Soapbox Scott says, Tokyo Ghoul was really good for seasons 1 and 2, but then I found out the second season is a huge departure from the manga and everything is ruined. Aw. I liked a lot of the art for Tokyo Ghoul. We covered it in one of my anime classes once because the kids requested it. So, yeah, the art looked dope.
I hope to actually scan this. Phone did not do a good job.
I'm so close to actually being finished coloring this.
Yay!
Oh, we weren't going to get through it without someone mentioning FMA. So, Forging Wonton says, a bit of unpopular opinion, but some of the points in FMA would have been really good in FMA Brotherhood. I 100% agree. Maybe it's controversial, but I really, really did like the original FMA, even though it doesn't follow the manga. I think the pacing was better. The animation was arguably better, and I just think overall a lot more effort was put into the original FMA than it was Brotherhood, but I know a lot of, people who read the manga really really dislike the fact that it deviated so much, but yeah, I agree. It would have been nice to have some of those pieces in there. I think there was a lot of stuff that they did much stronger. It is good that they do have both. I kind of like that a lot of the animes that are getting redone are being redone so that they can follow the manga better. Like Fruits Basket, obviously FMA was probably one of the first ones that did it. There was another one like Kasan or something that also did that. I mean, Randall, we could talk endlessly about Sailor Moon Crystal on that front too.
You mean bitch about that constantly?
Look, yeah, this is not the stream for that, okay?
Save that for the anime stream.
Exactly.
Right?
Tune in if you want to see two diehard Moonies from the 90s just bitch about how they fucking ruined Sailor Moon when they did Crystal.
Like, I'll be a little bit nice and at least give him some credit, but then we're going to have good cop, bad cop. Randall's just going to, like, lay into it, just like, really? You don't know how to fucking pace your show? Really?
Let's take this franchise, which has been beloved by many and made tons and tons of money for the past 2 decades, and give it to the B team to animate.
Randall, save it for the stream.
So Korea? That's mean. That's mean. So
we absolutely could just think about that.
I wish Soul Eater would get redone. And so Hebe Buffet liked season 3 of Crystal.
It was
I thought
better.
I knew you, Heba Buffet. I thought I knew you.
I feel like Soul Eater isn't that old, but then again, I watched it 10 years ago, so it must be old now. Doesn't feel old.
There are children that were not born when Soul Eater came out.
That hurts. That hurts. Oh, my back.
I know.
It hurts, guys. It hurts.
I'm gonna drop my not finished but finished for now art in the I guess I'll call it WIP, work in progress.
Madoka is 10 years. Why do you got to say that? I know you're right. Oh my god, it's 10 years old. Having a bit of an existential crisis.
Oh, is that Sarah?
Did anyone watch the FLCL continuation new series? I'm afraid to watch it because I like the original.
That was exactly what I was like. I'm afraid I don't wanna.
Which is silly. I liked every time they rebooted Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, except maybe not this next one. I don't know how I feel about the current one, but I was scared when Nickelodeon took over, and that series might be my favorite Ninja Turtles.
I sort of love how every single generation gets their own Ninja Turtles. Like, it's not even a question of, oh, are we going to get a Ninja Turtles reboot? It's like, oh, what is this generation's Ninja Turtles? Like, what are they going to grow up with? It's like the one franchise that benefits from the most from like redoing.
Pour one out for the generation that got the Megan Fox version of the Turtles.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't say they were all good.
My Little Pony is like half and half for that because the first series, great. Second, third series, not so great. Fourth version that just wrapped up, excellent.
Interesting. Again, sadly, I don't think I realized that they were even that far. Oh, we're getting a Trash Panda raid. I don't know what. Oh my goodness. Trash Panda. Hey,
Trash Panda.
Pandas. Treasure. Cool. Hello. Hi. Okay. Oh my gosh, Nicole, I love that little. He's so cute. Thanks for raiding in. That's awesome. Welcome. So we are Doodle Crew, and we are working on Saturday morning cartoons. So some of us are really doing well and drawing lots of stuff and getting lots of stuff done, and then there's me who's been talking, and I'm still inking things. Yeah, so to answer Wiffle Possum in chat, so our prompt was Saturday morning cartoons, but what I posited to the crew was I'd love to see you pick a cartoon style and then possibly adapt other cartoon characters to that style. So easiest to see right now is Randall up in the top corner. He adapted the original X-Men cartoon to Scooby-Doo style. Yes. Do you still have your sketchbook easily accessible, Sarah?
Yes. Oh, my inked version is on top.
There you go. So we've got the Pokemon crew, but in matte graining style, which, oh my god, that Pikachu I love so much. I love it so much.
Wait, hold it up again. Oh, super cute.
It's so derpy. I love it. Okay, and then I know it's Mighty Max, but I've forgotten you were doing Ben 10 style, but you referenced the artist. And
the Man of Action Ben 10 style.
Man of Action, yes. Yes. So we've got throwback to Mighty Max, and then bringing in the I just love it. I love the lighting too. It looks great. So then I've got I should probably actually make it bigger. So I took original, well, not original, but the updated Johnny Quest when they did the Johnny Quest Real Adventures, and then I took and made the Thundercats in human form. So, yeah, like I said, I've got rough colors in there. Rough today. Yeah, Starf is fun. Starf was fun to draw. Yeah.
Pay no attention to the millions of layers without any names on them. You don't see them. There we go. I know what I'm doing. So we were talking our favorite anime. Did we actually say what our like current watched? I know Sarah mentioned Blue Exorcist, but I don't know if Randall or Emily, if you mentioned that.
Well, now I'm scared to say it because I'm realizing it's probably not that recent, but I have consistently been enjoying the new Voltron. So the Studio Mirror updated Voltron. I mean, I love their stuff to begin with. Like, I watched the shit out of that Legos Elves anime that they did. I loved that. So their stuff is awesome. But yeah, I loved that Voltron.
I mean, and then of course the Avatar.
Right. Yeah. For the big ones. But yeah, that's really the big one that I'm slowly making my way through now that I love. I guess I don't necessarily count Hilda as anime, but I'm working my way through that one too. So
super cute though.
So cute. I love it.
I'm upset that it takes so long for that to be produced because I watched it in 2 days. Because I knew it was going to be a while, and I waited for the day it came out, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to start from the beginning and rewatch the first season. And I watched the first and second season in 2 days. Did not pace myself.
We were talking earlier about palette cleansers, and yeah, Hilda's a perfect palette cleanser. Like, it is just, if you have to revitalize your soul, but you still want like really good emotional plot, like Hilda's where it's perfect. I will also agree that the new Voltron is really good.
Oh yeah.
I'm currently rewatching that.
I remember an interview with one of the directors saying, or creators, that they weren't remaking Voltron as it was. They were remaking the Voltron that we remember watching.
Oh, I like that.
So it was never going to be a remake of the show. It was going to be a remake of our nostalgia of the show, like elements that we remember, but then elements that we don't, they kind of left out.
I think that's a really great way to approach updating and refreshing a property. So
same.
Yeah, so Wiffle Possum was saying that he's been lurking, but that drawing streams make him productive. So good. Oh, interesting. So Hilda didn't land for Bean. Yeah, it's definitely cutesy. I think it's got kind of the quirkiness like Gravity Falls, but that's a very, like, it's got to kind of hit you at the right spot. And especially if that's not what you're looking for, it can kind of not jive. So I get that.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
The music in it was not what I expected.
Yeah.
It was another one. It's not like Hilda in the sense that it's not like a spiritually the same, but I watched it alongside Hilda, so I can't really separate the two. Owl House, which is a Disney property, and when Hilda first ended, I was like still jonesing for that cutesy but still adventurous fantasy world, and Owl House actually fit the bill for me really well with that.
That's good. I don't know anything about that one, so I'll have to check it out.
The plot is another, kind of like American isekai girl from our world goes to like a fantasy world, but the fantasy world is just really interesting, and it's all about the characters. Just super intriguing characters.
I feel like with watching so much anime, I was like, no, you can literally just keep recycling these same ideas on me, but if you make the worlds visually interesting and I enjoy the characters, I don't care. Like, I remember like Escaflowne had kind of a similar feel to some of the other ones, and I was like, no, clearly I will just keep watching this because I don't need like that new and different plot. I just enjoy this type of world building and kind of almost like D&D adventure follow along. So
which is a good point. I think there's like a lot of negative criticism on, you know, so and so did that before. Like, oh, you're just watching a precursor to so and so, and it's like, no, it can be the same idea, but it's done differently. Like now I'm seeing this person's take on this concept. And I'll agree, I was one of those people where it's like, oh, I've seen this before, why would I watch it again? And it's like, oh, I had to get over that predilection, preconception.
Well, and I do think it's tough because, again, I think part of enjoyment you can get out of a series is surprise or something unexpected. And if you kind of know how the plot points are going to go beat for beat, you lose that part of it. So, yeah, I can see people not enjoying that aspect of it. And then, too, if you had something, whatever one you first watched that with, it sets the expectations at that level. And if these other ones don't live up to it or they don't deliver a big hit or a big plot like twist or anything like that, you're kind of like, well, wait, but the other one did. Why didn't you guys?
On that similar vein, I find that kind of, again, one of those differences I've noticed a lot with Western versus like Japanese media. The hitting it beat for beat, plot for plot isn't necessarily a bad thing because it's still like, oh, we're just going to see how this studio handles the big reveal or the big identity crisis or whatever. But then in Western media, I can think of a lot more live action that do this, but it's like, no, we have to subvert audience expectations. We don't have to rise to meet and surpass their expectations. We have to completely go in the opposite direction than they were expecting. And that's when you get really sort of bad, unsatisfying TV shows. And I've noticed that a lot where anime is okay hitting those expectations and just rising above them versus Western media, which is like, no, if we do what the audience expects, it's somehow bad. I don't know. That's just my take on it. Yeah, see, yeah, Game of Thrones. Yep. Forging Wonton got it. Didn't want to mention by name, but
yeah. Which I can't speak to because I've not watched it, but yes, that seems all right. So yeah, so Soapbox Clot says 100% my biggest complaint with modern anime. Most of it is done to formula so much that there are rarely any surprises. Yeah, so I could see that, especially if you had anime that you grew up with and you loved. Slayer Braxis says I made it a goal to make my way through every isekai. There we go.
Isekai.
To see what the differences are and why folks like one more than the other. Ow.
Isekai is the name given to the plot concept of person from our world is pushed or falls or whatever into another world. So like Inuyasha's an isekai. Wow, I just had a bunch of them in my head and now I can't think of any. There's like a ton of isekai in both American.
One of the Kenshins or something like that is, it's not Rurouni Kenshin. Magic Knight Ray Earth, yes. Speaking of styles that I love,
Magic Knight Ray Earth, yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah,
it's like the word omnipotent. Like seeing it is omnipotent, but hearing it. So like I heard you say it and I understood it, and then I saw it written and I was like, done. Blue screen.
404.
404. Brain not found.
All right, I'm calling mine done for now.
Yay! No, that lighting looks awesome. That looks so cool.
I just have X-Men theme running through my head.
I just had this conversation with my friend the other day, and I said, you know, while watching it on Disney Plus, it pops up with the skip intro. And I'm like, only a monster would choose to skip the intro to the X-Men.
At least that X-Men, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, even if you're not actively watching it, you have to hear the rockin' guitars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I'm tying everything back to Mighty Max today, you know, keeping with that expectation, you should also check out that intro because it is also just synthesizer and guitar music. And I forget who it was. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we were talking about intros of 90s, 80s, early 2000s cartoons, and the ones that are timeless are the ones that don't have any vocals and are just like really cool guitar riffs, like Batman Beyond, Men in Black, Mighty Max.
Shout out to the one I'm
X-Men.
in right now, the Johnny Quest one, which I was listening to earlier.
Johnny Quest.
Absolutely rocking.
How did I forget to mention Johnny Quest?
It's okay. Yes, Bean. So Roar and Kenshin is a good call. I sing along with the Wiffle Possum says I sing along with the X-Men theme. Absolutely. X-Men. I'm with Hebe Buffet as well. I loved the X-Men Evolution intro too. I thought that one was great.
What was that intro? I know there was one. I just don't remember what it was.
It's all the cuts of them at the different spots at the school, and it's got kind of that same like guitar-y type thing.
Mhm.
Oh, it's just an acoustic.
I'm not going to sing it because nope.
All right, I'm going to hop off here because I'm kind of getting a bit of a headache.
Actually, I think we did say we were going to stop in a half an hour, then we did another hour's worth. So make sure I save. And yeah, I think we call it. So, but yeah, this was awesome. I'm really, really happy with how everything turned out and how everything went. And I had a blast.
Yeah, everything's looking great.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing the Saturday morning cartoons.
Yay!
This was a
Yeah,
good choice.
so chat, if you like it, definitely hit us up. If you enjoyed this one, I know we did, so we will probably do it again, but hopefully, like, I think we had a lot of good chatter today, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. So quick shout out before everybody leaves. So if you want to follow Randall, that is his Instagram, and somewhere, there's the Tumblr. Also check out the Tumblr, and I wonder if I can do, hang on. I almost know it by heart. There's your thing. What have you? Let's see if it'll work for me through StreamYard. Yep. So there is. Thank you, Bean. Yep. So there's Randall's stuff, and then let's go down. Yes. So if you want to see, Kristen is working on kind of getting her Twitch channel up and running. So jump over there, give her a follow. So when she is up and doing art stuff, you can see it there. Also, there's her Instagram, and I think. Oh, yep. I know this one. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole. I wasn't sure if you were still there. I didn't want to assume. Yep. So there's Kristen's stuff, and I know I totally didn't get around to getting all of Sarah's stuff in. So if you want to follow Sarah, check her out. I've lost the thing. It's here. There. So Sarah has how many? 5 ongoing comics going right now? I can't even keep track.
3 being released. Several in the works. Because I'm insane.
Yes.
Don't ever make this many comics and be like, I'm going to post every week, because that's crazy talk.
Yeah. So if you want to be shamed and humbled by Sarah's productivity, follow her over there at Tumblr. Also, if you want to see some of her other stuff, there is that. But yeah, she's got a lot of comics ongoing, which I'm woefully behind on. So yes.
Don't worry. They're better if you read them in chunks, I've been told. But only I've been told vicariously. Like, people will tell other people that they're like, oh man, Sarah's comic's really cool, but they don't tell me, and they're my friends too.
Well, I had a moment because I was following one, and then I accidentally read a separate page from the other ones, and I was like, wait, what? What is it? No, what? So yes, but definitely check them out because she's got a lot of cool stuff going. And then you all know me already. You can find me everywhere across the internet at a swan named Emily. I will continue to update you, and I again should have this stuff ready before I start things. Our next Doodle Crew is scheduled for Monday, January 25th at 2 p.m. So we're gonna have, I think we're gonna have a different lineup for that one, like we've been doing. So definitely. If you like this stuff, if you hit follow on my page, it'll alert you when I go live. I will try and advertise as much as I can, usually whenever Doodle Crew stuff is coming out, and tag that out. So yeah, keep coming, hanging out with us, chatting with us. Thank you so much to everyone in chat. You guys were great. We got to, oh my gosh, bathe in a lovely nostalgia soup today, which I enjoyed very, very much. So, and speaking of soup, everyone should go eat some lunch and drink some water. So Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday and go watch some cartoons.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Go watch cartoons.
Go watch cartoons.
Bye.